nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind.
Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Monday, August 5th, 2013. It's 8:04 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. You're here live from the Doghouse with Irv, Ed, and DB right here. It's going on. It's getting close to 70-something degrees right now. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
See?
Good morning, everybody.
It's...
The camera's crooked. Camera's crooked.
70 degrees. 70 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia. It's kind of somewhat sunny. It's with a high of 91 and a low of 73. Good news is there's not going to be that much rain today. The bad news is it's the first day of school for kids, so get on that bus.
Good day for us, too, for anybody that has kids. And those little scoundrels go to school. Anyway, how was your weekend?
Weekend was great. Weekend was really
what did we do on this weekend?
Yes. Let's see. What good way to start off the weekend. We went to the movies. The first, matter of fact, it was I think it was like the first movie I saw this year. I actually repeated. Went to see the movie 42, which was filmed a little over a year ago at Luther Williams Field, and we saw it at Luther Williams Field.
Derek and I went. We sat on the grass. Of course, I paid the price for this. I got more freaking mosquito and gnat stings than I've ever had in years.
So did I. Matter of fact, I think
I'm all over the place. I'm bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, so was I. Matter of fact, I think I got a couple of extra ones the next day around Saturday. I was cutting the weeds on my lawn and stuff, and I found like this fire ant bed. You know, those was under the weeds. I just and then I was just like this army of fire ants.
You destroyed them on the spot, no? Well, at least a lot of them. Yeah, I used to, of course I was naive. I used to like step on that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but as a kid, you always want to.
Matter of fact, I might have to get some calamine lotion. I put some Neosporin on the bite, so hopefully that'll do something.
All right, DS. Yes, no, I did not. We just kind of, I didn't even think I was going to go. Derek and I had talked about it earlier. Yeah. But we never really kind of confirmed that we were in fact going to go between me and Derek.
Yeah.
But Derek said he was going to go, and then Derek showed up.
Yeah, but see, DSC, I didn't think...
I ran out.
But the thing is, it's post 9/11. So you think... I didn't think they were going to let us in with some freaking, bug spray and stuff, because people act all funny and stuff, with certain type of flu. That type of, I thought they were going to get all TSA on you. But
what do you mean? They were going to spray it? What did you think they were gonna do? Give us a spray?
Well, not give
As
us.
we walk in, or they
Well,
gotta
not give us a spray, but basically it's gonna be kind of antsy about it. No pun intended, but thing like we bring some.
I'm trying to figure out.
like open containers and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
How people act, acting kind of funny. Like you can't be bringing that type of stuff.
Right.
See,
So
I didn't know
that-
that. I didn't know.
Well, I guess we were supposed to spray before we went.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I should have done that. I should have sprayed before
I guess.
got in.
Like you're saying, use chemicals type thing. Yeah, I know. No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for letting us know. Post bit chewed up. Even my pinky has 2 of them. My freaking pinky, and that's because I was leaning back like this. Remember? I mean, it was pretty a little bit uncomfortable. We should have also brought chairs. We didn't bring chairs.
Yeah, we didn't even bring
It's
chairs.
just 2 guys in jeans and sat on the grass.
Preparation H, which the
Yeah,
best
and the
Michelle
grass,
Stacy.
by the way, was
really dewy.
really wet.
Yeah, really moist. Yeah, it's like
Really, moist.
There must have been some serious
You
humidity.
could wash your hands in the freaking grass.
Yeah.
So,
Michelle,
I got stung by stingray and it got sick. Yeah.
Michelle
Yeah.
said they might have tased you thinking you were going to start terroristically spraying people for mosquitoes.
Rocco's in the house. Good morning, Rocco. Welcome.
Rocco.
And anyway, we're talking about going to 42. We went to the old, what the hell's the name of that park? Central Park.
Central City Park.
Central City Park. And which is the baseball field that parts of the movie 41 were filmed in.
Yeah. I got a...
41.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
mean,
Nicole.
42. What the hell?
What comes after 69?
70.
Washmount.
Ew, okay.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway.
Oh, thanks, Nicole. I'm glad you saw the video. Weekend party. Yeah, that was my little weekend
Say your
afterthought.
weekend parking lot video, Derek. Thanks, man. Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
What about it?
Well, it was the video of us going into Luther Williams Field at Central City
Did you
Park.
send it to Ed?
No, not yet, but I'll definitely...
Yeah, hello. All right, well, why don't you, while he's sending that to Ed, we'll play that. I think Ed could play it.
You should. Shoot, it's on my channel.
Yeah, parking lot video, Rocco. You'll see. You'll see what we're talking about. Anyway, this is the second one. By the way, you have another one from the time that we went up to Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
For the red carpet.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to put that one on there.
Bring it out. All that shit plays.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, why not? Anyway, wave frantically at Michelle. Nick out. Hi, Michelle. Oh, you can't even see my hand. We got this gigantic space between me and Derek here.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you move together?
I don't know. I mean,
You bitching at me.
what the hell? Okay, here
You
we go.
guys want to keep spreading them apart.
Don't move the camera. Move around. I got you, Ed. All right. So,
Well, yeah, I don't want them to see all that shit on the table.
yeah, better, right? Thanks.
Just your mugs.
What? Anyway, so we had a good time.
Yeah, we had a
I
really
mean, I did. You notice the only person that I noticed there was Dolan. You know Dolan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're running a warning crawl, Rocco, so if you want to come on our show, be nice. You can do whatever you want on your show. I was watching the other day, and I hope you're not really like that. I think you're just trying to get the ratings there acting away.
Yeah, no, he was good.
How mean you are.
Yeah.
But you know what? Anybody can do what they want when they're hiding behind the
Yeah.
camera on the internet. Have a great day. Be nice to our people, and come back often.
Thank you. By the way, Ed, thank you. Thank you for putting that up. Ed and I talked about this, and he got it done.
Okay.
Anyway, the reason for this is because we want to not have to remind everybody over and over again. I figured if you just put it up, people are going to know, and it's less confrontational. And that way, I certainly don't want to wind up being an angry Puerto Rican guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And
But
you
yeah,
know
he's-
that these people can make you angry because you're living an experience with Our viewers are like family now.
Yes, as you can see, Irving has embraced the thug life.
Hey, if y'all want to, make
Thank
your own
you.
personal insults between each other, do it in the IM section. If you do it on the main feed, you're not even going to get a warning. You're going to be banned. That'll be it. End of story.
I know Rocco's an angel. I saw his show. I actually, Rocco, if you were here in Macon, Georgia, I swear to God, we would go downtown. We'd have a blast together. I think that personally, if you hung out with me, Rocco, you'd like me. Because I feel like everything that, your whole style, the way you are, the way you were talking, I said, shit, I'd love to hang out with this guy. Have a beer with him. You are
the Doughboys pizza.
Yeah, not only that, I ought to have the honors of doing that because he is a military guy, and so in the end, I don't really care. Remember when the story that we did with one of the military men who served in Iraq and Iran? He was on duty, and he shot a guy in the face. Remember that? And I said, well, I will forgive him because after all, he served and he's got a lot of issues. I wouldn't give him the death penalty. Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a story that you and I and Anthony talked about.
Okay.
Sometime in the past. I still feel that way. I still feel like our military brothers and sisters, especially those who were in wars that were horrible. I'm not talking about the office worker or the paper pusher. Those that were in battle. Those guys, I give them a lot of slack because after all, they did go through hell. So,
that's true.
Anyway, so we're here this morning. We got a lot of stories. Speaking of wars, we continue the war on crime here in Macon.
Touch base. Today is the day the warning starts.
What warning?
Terrorist activities in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Closing all the embassies.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they did that on
secretly.
Sunday. Today is the day they're opening up. Good morning, too much. It was on Sunday that all the embassies were closed. That was yesterday. And they're going to reopen up today, but I wonder. Yeah, that's another issue.
Okay.
The only problem that I have with that is they don't really have clarity as to all this chatter that they're talking about as to why we had to close so many embassies. Once again, it could be manipulation and bringing on again the war, the fear of war and all this other bullshit that we have spent billions of dollars on since 2001.
Okay.
When 9/11 happened, then all of a sudden we have this company called Homeland Security, aka FEMA.
Yeah.
Right? Which is really what it is. Homeland Security.
Yeah.
And that shit came into being right after 2011.
Yeah, Michelle says they closed over 24 embassies and consulates. They pretty much consulates, excuse me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I have that story. It says hours before 22 U.S. Embassies and consulates, well, actually probably more than 22 now, embassies and consulates were closed for a day. A top U.S. security officials reviewed the situation that has led to the unprecedented move. It says the U.S. global travel alert remained in place amid fears that Al-Qaeda may launch attacks in the Middle East, North Africa, and beyond in coming weeks.
Yeah.
It says the threat has prompted the U.S. to announce that 22 facilities will be closed on yesterday, including in Yemen, which was a focus of concern.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon meeting with the White House Chief of Staff Secretary of State John Kerry, Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel, as well as the heads of Homeland Security, National Security Agency, FBI, CIA, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. President Barack Obama was briefed after the meeting, according to the White House. On this past Saturday, the security around the U.S. Embassy in Yemen was even tighter than last year when the embassy was raided by protesters. At least 12 tanks were stationed within 500 meters of the building.
Yeah.
It says Yemen Special Forces, the most elite, were seen in small numbers near the embassy as well. Meanwhile, Britain, France, and Germany have said that they too will close their embassies in the Yemeni capital of Sana'a on Sunday and Monday for security reasons. No other embassies have been are affected as we know as of yet. Neither Italy nor Spain, which has no embassy in Yemen, plan to close any of their embassies.
All right, so we got all these embassies closing up. Once again, now everybody on the forefront of every moment that they wake up, are thinking we're in a war on terrorism. We're going to be bombed, this and that. Here's what I'm having trouble with. This happens out of the spur of the moment. America reacts in the way that it's never reacted in the history of America, closing up dozens of embassies, or probably dozens, 2 dozen. This is again now going to spur on a war mentality. Once again, more weapons, more guns, more bombs, more ammo has to be built or has to be made. And so I don't know. I think it's just a perpetual business.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I mean, you're talking about, look at what happened. Look at what happened.
Okay.
When 2001 happened, America grew its military industrial complex, I mean, by billions and billions of dollars. Right. Billions.
With a B.
With a B. And probably more like $1 trillion. About as much as the national debt used to be.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Now, who the hell knows where it is?
It's if, well, 14,
yeah, it's about, what,
14 trillion.
14 trillion. Where do you think that came from? Where do you think that 14 trillion is coming from? It's coming from the military bombings and all that. So all that money that we spent on 2 wars over 10 years. That's all we were doing, was spending money.
Yeah.
Now we're in this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I know people. I know they always say, like, you know how to spend money to keep the economy is basically have a war, though, but it doesn't do you any good if you got a great big bill.
I know.
You know.
Well, the problem that we have with closing all these embassies, to me, is now America's eyes are being blindfolded. To all these people that, but it's been anyway for so many years. I mean, it seems like they can't get their act together anyway. Right. Like we even have any real solid evidence of anything. So who the hell knows? Anyway, I gotta move on. Let me see. I say we have a massive praying against Al Qaeda. Yeah. That would be. Why the hell not? I can't knock that. I mean, and go and say to them, you're going to pray as Muslims and we're going to respect. And I actually like praying the way they pray. That's the way you should be. There are times when you can take a walk in a park and pray and talk. But there are times that we need to really be prostrate like that. In a very uncomfortable position. So that when we're praying, we're in pain. There's just, it's not a joke, Rocco. I think it's a great idea. Well, we shouldn't pray against people. I'm saying pray together as one that we can get along. Like Rodney King said.
Yes.
Why not?
Rodney King once says, yes. Matter of fact.
Why not?
Speaking of which, this stuff going on in Russia. I mean, if looks like I guess it's not really sports related per se, but it does have something to do with the 2014 Winter Olympics.
I know they're not going to allow the gay people to.
If it has anything to do with the pouring down the vodka, in protest of the anti-gay laws in Russia.
Yeah, like that did anything.
Or the thing with Snowden getting asylum in Russia for at least for a year. It's like there's more stuff going on, and the thing about Pussy Riot. Now they want to get. Now Russia wants to put Madonna and Lady Gaga in prison now.
Really? Is that the story?
Yeah, that's a true story. Yes. Vitaly Mamonov, the prosecutor's office, from the Prosecutor General's office of Russia, says basically Madonna and Lady Gaga are in big trouble with the Russian government for violating the terms of their visas, not just for discussing gay rights at their shows, but for making a profit even through technically the passports were the basic cultural exchange sort. Says Milanov is claiming that means that they should not get any of the $2 million plus they made with their performances. And he wants them to pay up or face charges. Last winter, Milanov was the guy who filed
charges. Tell him to sell the freaking ring that Putin stole from this guy. Yeah, Patriots. Tell him that freaking jewel thief. You tell him, you go and sell that ring, you jewel thief, and then pay for that shit.
Okay.
Screw you.
Milanov was the guy who filed charges against Gaga for promoting homosexuality among children and slandering Mother Russia. It says, while we hate to see our favorite divas in distress, this could be the most amazing thing ever. Madge and Mother Monster detest each other. So it's like, even though they're both in trouble, they don't like it. Madonna and Lady Gaga don't like each other. How about that? You could put them in a Girls Behind Bars Shiv match on demand, and we watched it.
They don't like each other because they're two freaking bookends. They're both the same. It's just one old and one young. They're both ugly. I mean, Lady Gaga without makeup, that's what you say. Gaga. Ugh.
She's not that
bad.
That doesn't make
No.
But on the other hand, it says,
like Toucan Sam.
On the other hand, basically they're saying that Lady Gaga and Madonna should be both press charges because of their at least according to them that they promoting gay homosexual children.
All right, so this is a gay issue. Whatever.
And also
they're backwards.
Not to mention Lady Gaga faces a $50,000 fine.
She could afford it. But I will say this. Not that I want to have a $50,000 fine and all that shit.
Well, you're not a Russian. You don't have
but they're kind of in-your-face people, too. They go there on purpose just to bring this shit. And what you've got are very conservative Russian men, like here in America, just as freaking annoying and as a-holic. Right?
A-holic. Yeah. That's a good name. A-holic.
No. Yeah, they're a-holic. That means that they're a-holes in a holy way.
Yes.
In a big holy way. And so, you have them too over there in Russia. You have them here. Look at the group, actually, that Anthony used as his defense in this court, and he won his case when he heckled a mayor. Remember that?
I can't. Yes.
Over this group, this Christian group that went to a military funeral for a gentleman who died in Iraq and who was homophobic.
Yes.
I mean, not homophobic. He was homosexual. And the church went there saying God hates gays, protesting that guy, that we shouldn't be celebrating his death. I mean, it was pretty in your face. And do you know that they won the right to do that?
Jeez. That's just...
exactly. I mean...
it's kind of messed up. I mean, granted, no matter how much you feel, though, whether you're anti-gay or pro or whatever, anti or pro, whatever, the thing is, the person's dead. The person deserves... I mean, you just least respect it. They deserve to have at least a decent funeral without strife. They're not going to give you any type of disease. I mean, unless they come out the coffin or something like a zombie, like The Walking Dead. But the thing is, they deserve a decent burial. All people, regardless of what.
Well, that's what it says. It's biblical.
I mean, short, tall, fat, skinny. It doesn't matter.
I mean, that's one of the things that is biblical. They say that you should bury your dead, and you should take care of the poor, and you should watch over, because the poor will always be with us.
Yeah.
No matter what, there'll always be poor people. Not gonna get rid of them. It's how to manage that whole craziness. And how to get as many out of that mindset.
Right. That's true.
But anyway, guys, stay on topic. Thank you. Okay, Michelle. We're all over the place.
Yeah,
by the way, before you go on to the next story, what do you got? Oh, yeah. All right, let's all get along. Okay, folks, this is a great segue.
Okay, definitely.
That can apply to even them. That once, let's say we disagree. We disagree as human beings. Can we handle to disagree without having to throw a punch at somebody? Can people have better self-control
Yes.
amongst,
Can we live among us, brothers and sisters, without laying the hand? Some people.
Right.
And I don't mean in a Reverend Ike or Jimmy Swagger kind of way. I'm just.
well, that's all these people know. So if you mean it that way, that's true.
Yes.
Read the story.
Okay. This is from Bernard O'Donnell from WMAZ, Channel 13, Macon's CBS affiliate. Macon police officer resigns after fight. It says a Macon police officer resigned after striking a fellow officer during a fight while on duty, according to the news release. Police say that Andrew Gilbert and the other officer fought after both men responded to a burglar call at the Dollar General store at Pinona Avenue early last Saturday. That's actually down the street from where I live.
Yep.
Well, Gilbert approached Officer Derek Hubel and claimed the other officer, quote-unquote, nearly ran him off the road while en route to the store, the release says. Said he hit Hubel and the pair continued to fight, according to the release. Police say that Gilbert resigned this past Wednesday, and Internal Affairs continue to investigate the matter. When contacted on Thursday, the police spokeswoman declined to release any information because it was an internal matter. Okay.
Well, here we go again.
There you go.
And guess what precinct he's from?
What's precinct?
He's from Precinct 3.
Oh,
The
boy.
same precinct that had the police officers who stole
Stole a tractor.
the tractors. The same one that sold a gun or gave a gun away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The same one that... the same precinct that had those two women fighting at the Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
The same precinct that had Officer Clayton Sutton on it.
Who shot
Junebug. This is the same precinct. And Anthony has been pulling their files. And on this guy, Officer Gilbert, he had a bad record. He was one of the guys that had one of the worst records on file.
Wow.
And so... now it falls on the fact that that's why Gilbert had to resign. Because even though the other officer may have almost run him over, it was the way Gilbert responded about that. And basically he was the aggressor
Wow.
of this whole thing.
So Precinct 3 must be like the Mose Eisley of police precincts in Macon. Just a den of an iniquity.
Yep. That's what it is. And anyway, so I put up a post about it on Facebook, and then of course I get a lot of responses coming back. And I think it's just, once again, it proves the point of what we have been saying on the show, that department is not well trained. They're just not well trained. And by the way, when I went out on Saturday night, Anthony came to pick me up. So I was out Saturday night, downtown late, and we hung out at Jackie's, and they roasted. So I go down towards Element. I go see Philip and Alex, who own the club Element, and they just bought a place down in Florida.
Wow. Okay.
You know. Anyway, they're gonna rent out Element. So we went there. We saw them. And there was a few police officers hanging around. These guys must have been 20, 22, like young kids in uniform.
Like you probably ID them if you were a bartender. They're young. I've seen them too. I'm like, damn.
If they were walking in regular wear, yeah. I mean, and I was like, wow, you know. Incredible. You look like road workers today. DB has an orange vest. Irv has a bandana. Yeah, we're truck. Good morning, Hydro.
Yeah, peach. Yellow peach.
Yellow.
More yellow. What is it?
It's lemon.
She's orange.
I solved the problem with a baseball bat. I kicked the queers, blacks, and Mexicans out of town. Oh, James, you're walking the line.
Yeah, walking the line.
But that's all right.
Speaking of walking the line, there's
what?
Here's a
I'll
wing
walk
dang
the line.
There was a story that Ed sent me. That was a real wing dang dinger right here. A 13-year-old boy in Kansas City Police say it was doused with gasoline and lit on fire while walking home from school. Is recovering from first-degree burns in the face of his head.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
This said that the boy was just 2 blocks from his home in Kansas City when 2 black teenagers began to follow him and attacked him. This can't be a real story. His mother, Melissa Kuhn. This can't be.
Melissa Kuhn?
Yes.
Is that a real name?
That's what it says according to this story.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard.
This I guess this must be like the next storefront.org is like whiteresistor.com. It says
Wow.
Police have described the suspects as black 16-year-old teenagers and the victim is white. It says we were told it's a hate crime, Kuhn told KTLA. It says they rushed him to the porch as he tried to get the door open and one poured of gasoline and says, "This is what you deserve." And then by lighting the gasoline, the second attacker produced a large fireball burning the face and hair of the boy.
Wow.
I can't believe this is
Getting terrible.
but the thing is, I don't know if this is actually a real story because the woman's last name is Kuhn.
Yeah, I don't know. It may be. Ed, are you sure that's not an Onion story? Okay.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
Just wanted to be sure.
Life imitates art. Whatever. Anyway, I got a story. Macon police officer was taken to the hospital on Sunday after hurting his leg, arresting a suspect in a domestic abuse dispute. Christopher Eugene Walker turns 25. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday. This is a young guy who was fighting his domestic fight, 25 years old. Allegedly resisted officers who pepper sprayed him near the corner of Newburgh Avenue and Baker Drive. Folks, that's literally down the block, about maybe 400 yards. And literally. He broke away from the police officers, captured him just before noon after a brief foot chase. Macon Police Sergeant Steve Gatlin said he was brought back to the scene and the EMS checked him out and used water hose to rinse off some of the pepper spray off of him to kind of ease his pains and also cool him down because it's so hot out here, and he ran a good distance from the police officer. A couple of officers were hit with the chemical spray and were treated at the scene. In the scuffle with the suspect, one of the officers skinned his leg up so he could be going and checked out at the medical center. Wait a minute, what's it say? In the scuffle with the suspect, one of the officers skinned his leg up. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be checked out, this is the way it's written, at the medical center. Police searched Walker's car before it was towed away. He was charged with possession of 2 drugs, felony obstruction, terrorist threats, and criminal trespass. Wow. Had a hard weekend. And by the way, this guy is a white guy. Which is surprising. All right. Well, in any event, that's what's happening here in Macon. We also had a man that was shot to death. Mm-hmm. Macon police are investigating a homicide in Village Green subdivision, according to Macon Bip Coroner Leon Jones. 35-year-old Stephen Desmond Johnson was shot in the chest multiple times at this address on Frederick Lake. Deputy Coroner Lonnie Miley says numerous people were inside the home mourning another death in the family when the violence broke out. The shooter escaped. Johnson died at the scene. Police say they have identified the suspect. They say the shooter and victim had been arguing. That's another death scene. We had the resignation, and then we have one other story about the bus. It's a big bus that they took. Tons of guns, pounds of marijuana, and that was here in Macon, Georgia. If I find the story, we'll bring it up later. If not, what's important to know is that it happened.
All right.
And I had it up, I can't find it. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay, 4 arrested, guns and pot seized. And then 4 men are under arrest, and another man is being sought after. Drug investigators from Bibb County Sheriff's Office served a search warrant on the residence and uncovered a stash of guns and marijuana. Investigators were serving the warrant at Melton Avenue, Macon, when they say 20-year-old Michael Anthony Pitts Jr., who lived in the address, ran away. Warrants were issued for his arrest. Inside the residence, investigators found 6 handguns, 2 of which were found to be stolen, and approximately a pound of marijuana, and an estimated street value of $3,200. And then they give all the names: Ashman Desmond Norwood, Candaris Ray Sean Cohn, Bernard Dent Jr., and Terry Eugene Burke Sr. of Macon. All these people. And each one has a big paragraph as to what they were charged with.
Wow, that's incredible.
You see, so, you have to hand it to the police. They got a lot of shit out there to deal with.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely. Speaking of getting a lot of stuff, man, there's, since there's a lot of robberies up in a lot of clerks are worried about safety.
Okay.
With the commercial armed robberies on the rise in Macon and Bibb County, some convenience store and gas station workers are worried about their safety. Says, as you know, this past week, a number of convenience stores, gas stations, and even a local sex novelty shop, Xmart, have been robbed at gunpoint. Amanda Josie, who works at the Marathon gas station, she's never been the target of robbers, but the store has. But security precautions have been put in place. They put in bulletproof glass. They have at least 2 people working there and a bulletproof glass, in there. And the door that leads behind the counter is always kept locked. It says, she also says they have a sign on the door that says there's a gun on the premises. So if someone tries to start some mess, be able to dish it out. So that unwritten law, that's a universal law. Remember, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So it says within the last month, the Macon area has a number of businesses targeted. There were 2 Family Dollar stores in the city of Macon have been targeted, along with more than 5 businesses in the county, Bibb County, including some gas stations, hotels, and Xmart.
Well, and we talk about this every day, and people say, "Oh, why do you guys have so much bad news?" And all. Well, you know what? To be honest, I mean, the good reports are few and far between.
Right.
I'm sorry. This is all that we're dished out. The only good things happen on Facebook. Hit like if you love Jesus. Yeah. Those are the messages that you see flying around.
But not always. There was one. We do have a couple of good stories every now and then.
I got a video.
Oh, you do?
Talking about liking things, on Facebook and all that shit. I got a video about what happens when you like something on Facebook. It's gotten so commercialized.
Oh.
When you like something, it rings up cash for people.
Yeah.
You want to watch the video?
You got it on? You got it ready?
By the way, before we, Ed, as you're queuing up, let me just say this to Rocco. Rocco, you're right. Actually, I brought up Detroit in my interview with Marion Paris, saying, are we going to wind up like Detroit? You got these big cities that are going bust. It's making Georgia, it's gone bust. That was the big argument with Jack Ellis. He was spending the money paying the staff and not putting it into infrastructure and all the other things. He was just paying the police and staff and pension with all the money. This was after his big rebuilding.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're ready to roll that beautiful footage.
You know those Facebook posts where it says, type 3 in the comments and something amazing will happen? Or, if I get 1 million likes, my dad will give me a car. Yeah, don't click like. On this Upgrade Your Life, what really happens when you click or comment, and why you probably shouldn't. I keep seeing that my friends have interacted with posts that say something like, type 1 in the comments to see what happens to the picture. And you think something would happen. Otherwise, why would your friends have shared it? But nothing happens. No amazing animation or optical illusion. And if you're clicking like for a cause, be warned. Many are scams. Click 1 million likes for Mallory. But there is no Mallory. That's a girl named Katie, whose identity was stolen by someone running what's called a like farm. Here's how this works. You click like, and then that activity shows up in your friend's newsfeed and gets some of them to click like too. Then inspirational quotes or cool pictures start showing up in your newsfeed. But as soon as a page gets enough followers, that's when the problems start. The owner can start posting ads that spam your newsfeed, or they can try to sell you things and make commissions on the sales. The owners of these pages treat them like businesses, even buying and selling fan pages to get more Facebook users that they can spam. And apparently it's a good business. Look at these pages for sale. The Facebook hamburger page. Seems harmless, but it's for sale for $5,000. And liking that double-double could end up putting a lot of spam, and not the luncheon meat, in your newsfeed. Like this one about cuddling? So cute. Except it's for sale. Price tag, $7,000. Fan of the TV show Friends? Awesome! But it's also for sale for $8,500. Now, I talked to Facebook about this, and they said that it's completely against their terms of service. And when they see this type of activity, they take the pages down. Why do these pages command such a price? Because whomever owns the page has a direct pipeline into your newsfeed. But clearly it's hard for them to police every fan page that's turned to the dark side. There are lots of legitimate pages out there, but choose what you like wisely. That activity shows up in your friends' news feeds, and it affects their perception of you. So if you've liked something you now regret, go to your profile, hit more, then likes, and unlike anything you're not so sure about. You shouldn't have to feel bad about liking something. Thanks for watching. For Yahoo News, I'm Becky Worley.
Tech Travel Tips brought to you by
Wow.
That's very
there you
informative.
go.
Very informative.
All right, I take that back. You can't even like on Facebook.
That's bad.
This is bad.
You can't even poke them, like them or
You
poke
see,
them or whatever.
I use it as a metaphor towards the only place that you can like something.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even like that.
Yeah. Why can't we just go like old school, just write a note to me, hey, I like you, like me, check this for yes or check
It
this
wasn't
for
a
no.
Facebook ad.
You know?
Is this real? Is that question real? I should be asking. Anyway.
Wow.
So, yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. We are living in hell.
Yes.
You just figured it out.
But at least I'm not in Detroit.
Ba-dum-bum.
Remember that movie?
At least it doesn't have to look like it. What?
Take them to Detroit.
Take them to Detroit.
Well, all I have to say is the projects here are like Beverly Hills. I mean, you know.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, like Beverly Hills. Yeah, they're nice little, you know, not New York where you're stacked up like pancakes and the whole smell of urine.
Mm.
You know? And forget about the elevators if they ever work. That's the shit that you got in New York. And here in Macon, Georgia, the little projects that they have, they mow the lawns.
Uh-huh. Wow.
I always said it. I said, well, you guys don't really know what the hell it's like to live in a ghetto.
Well, I only been in Detroit only once in my life. When my parents and I went to visit my Aunt Louise and Uncle Matthew before they moved down here to Macon. This is like early 70s, before my sister was born. We went to Detroit, and then like we kept on going. We went to Canada for like about an hour or so.
Wow.
That's the only time I've been outside the country. So I was like 2, so wasn't like I needed a passport, but I really wouldn't mind, you know, traveling. But that's
Yeah, well, Rocco says, I haven't lived in Detroit for 20 years. Rocco, you were from Detroit. Were you born in Detroit, Rocco? Anyway, I remember when I went to Detroit with a friend of mine. I was staying in Ann Arbor for about 3-4 months. And he was so proud of it. Oh, there's a shit. And I saw like 3 buildings. And I said, shit, this is like one block of New York City. What's the big deal? It's no city. Like 3 buildings. Born and raised on 8 Mile. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're tough people. And you should see the houses are beautiful. Huge. They sell like, for what?
$5,000.
Yeah, if even that.
$5,000. Wow.
I think they're selling land now. There's a house that you could buy for like $1,000, and with a nice parcel of land. But you gotta have money in the bank to fix it up.
Yeah, that's true. But I was just wondering why it's so cheap. But is it? I mean, it may have beautiful houses and good land, but is it near like a really bad area or?
Yeah, I mean that's what they're trying to do is save the city, give away the houses, see what
That's wild.
I got a video coming up.
So if you got
and they're also mowing down a lot of houses.
So if you can afford a tank or something like that, some security, you probably could get that.
Basically, they say one place. The thing I was watching, they say you could kill somebody, you get away with it.
Yeah, because the police don't want to police.
The police don't want to get shot.
Well, yeah, I mean these places, like, could you imagine? You got all these abandoned houses in one gigantic area, and it's like a ghost town.
Yeah.
And all these housing crevices, and then you got the crack dealers. You got all these people walking around, or not even. They're like inside these houses like roaches.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to go there. Scary thing.
It's
And
really
one
sad.
police guy in a
It's
car.
really sad when
Yeah.
for somebody that's grown up there, that's their home,
Yeah.
to see what has happened to them.
Even the
And look
police.
at all the money that went to bail out GM.
Oh yeah.
And they closed down the fish and body plant and
Yeah.
manufacturing. They just killed that
It's
city.
just basically all for nothing.
Manny says, first time for me there, and that was enough. Too far north and too cold in the winter for me.
Hell, Detroit makes
I mean, it's
Newark,
always
New Jersey
gray.
seem like Rio de Janeiro.
Rio, jeez.
Like always gray. And then all these ugly buildings. Oh my God, you would be living in like a depressed state. That's what it is. It's a depressed mind. All this blight. And then the sky is always gray.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And the sky was
And
gray.
exactly.
California
All the
dream.
leaves are gone. Anyway, I love this movie he made. What? Detroit is a hellhole, of course, Rocco says. Bean, good morning, Bean.
Morning Bean.
Music, wasn't Detroit the town of this pawn shop TV show? Yes. It's either that or Chicago. Which one?
It was Chicago.
You think it's Chicago?
Yeah.
But they all look alike.
I got the video.
You go to
got a
Chicago,
video?
he's
You got it?
just a little bit older, but the people there are pretty.
Okay. Well, since Ed says he got a video, go ahead and roll that baby.
Go.
Roll that bad boy.
Some call this the dead zone, an area of near complete destruction many miles across. No schools or hospitals, and few public services. Crime is the only growth industry here, with a murder rate higher than that of Colombia. This isn't Syria, Afghanistan, or Sarajevo. It's inner city America. Welcome to Detroit.
No police, citizens are leaving because crime is very high. Those who can leave, are able to leave, they are leaving. Of course, there are some who cannot.
It's hard to believe that there are places in the United States of America that look like this. I've been all over the world in the last 12 months, and aside from Mogadishu, I don't think I've seen any place that looks this bad. This is actually a historic building. It used to be the place where Packards and Studebakers were made. But today, it looks like a zombie apocalypse movie. While there's plenty of disagreement on the cause, there's no question on the result. Many urban areas are becoming virtual wasteland. Here in Detroit, half of the citizens are functionally illiterate, and some city officials say the true rate of joblessness is over 50%. The city has so far avoided bankruptcy, though its long-term debt is greater than that of Zimbabwe or El Salvador. It's a vicious circle. The lack of jobs means loss of tax revenue. That has led to deep cuts in city services, including fire and police. Sergeant John Bennett has been a Detroit City cop for 16 years.
We've lost on the police department 1,000 officers that haven't been replaced in the last 5 to 6 years.
Those who remain say they can't protect the city, which now has the highest rate of violent crime in America.
How do you keep a city safe that has no tax base and the population is running out the back door, the front door, and the side door? What do you do? How do you stem that tide? What do you do to stop the bleeding?
I'm standing only about 100 yards inside the Detroit city limits, and right here I can see over a dozen homes that are either abandoned or burned out. They say here in Detroit there are over 45,000 homes like that, but the root cause may have less to do with the economic downturn and more to do with government corruption. More government assistance hasn't helped. Several Detroit companies received bailout funds totaling nearly $100 billion. Yet Detroit still has the highest rates of poverty and welfare dependency in the nation.
I don't know how long I'm going to stay, honestly. I don't know how much longer I can hang on. Up to this point, it's been my commitment, my love of the city, my love of the community. This is my home. But as one of my coworkers said, when she left, she said, I love the city, but it didn't love me back.
Where the government has failed, private charities are stepping in. One of the largest, Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries, provides meals and shelter for thousands of homeless every day.
The Detroit Rescue Mission Ministry started as a soup kitchen, and now we have progressed to being not only an emergency shelter, but also transitional housing, permanent housing, a treatment center for those suffering from drug and substance abuse or mental health issues, as well as we have different programs that help to rebuild the city.
These programs are making a difference for people like Dwayne Tabb, who serves as the facilities supervisor at one of the mission's campuses.
10 years ago, I came to the Detroit Rescue Mission. I was homeless, I was lost, I was drug addicted. I went into 90-day treatment. I went to school, got an associate's degree, continued on and got a bachelor's degree, and I continued and got my master's. So I know that Detroit Rescue Mission saves lives.
In so doing, the Detroit Rescue Mission isn't just serving up food and shelter, but something better, which they believe actually has the power to turn the tide in America's inner cities.
Not only do we provide life skills to these individuals, but we also minister the Word of God, which ultimately is the crux of our mission.
From Detroit, Michigan, I'm Chuck Holt for CBN News.
All right,
I got something to say right now real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we got a newcomer out there. James Anderson. Okay, I'm reading what you're writing, and it's not going along with our show. So if you want to be part of our gang, our group, let's cool it and stick with the topic, or be banned. Last warning. That goes for everybody. We're not going to tolerate anything. We got people watching our show now locally and stuff like that. We don't want anybody doing stupid stuff out here.
Yeah. All right, Bean, saying in the 20s and 40s, Detroit was one of the most productive cities in the United States. Steel, cars, and so many things came out of Detroit because of the heavy railway system there. What a pity. And then no jobs for many means hard times for areas. People will do what they have to do to survive. Yeah. Music Doka says, takes some money and organize. James Anderson said, I don't think Detroit is too great, but too brown. Well, they did have the white flight, and obviously, James, you're showing your true color. Plastic Canvas, yeah, they need to start doing something to make it better for them. Well,
I do have some, people say...
Well, wait a minute. Before we jump, let's stay on topic here for a minute.
Okay.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Do you think that something's going to happen here in Macon, Georgia, like that?
If something doesn't happen and soon, particularly with consolidation, there's a good potential that it could.
Right. Because it recreated itself as a new government. So it's kind of scary when you think about it.
Right.
I mean, are they going to be able to actually handle it?
That's a very good question, and particularly that, and plus what about the people who won't be able to defend themselves like children? Because I live, not too far from my old high school, Southwest High School, and not to mention the people, the kids who live there. There was a wonderful story on 60 Minutes last night about how they were trying to find a way to quash the gang situation over, I think, somewhere in Springfield.
Yeah.
Springfield, Massachusetts. I don't know which particular. I don't know if it was Springfield, Illinois, or Springfield, Massachusetts. But there was a guy who he was a cop who was stationed in Afghanistan Iraq. And he basically said he got in touch with some of the people Iraqi people, and they were able to get rid of the insurgents there. So they basically, him and another ex-soldier who works at Harvard, they were trying to find a way to quash it, and they had something where they said, make a friend, basically, in the city, and therefore you'll be able to be more friendly or get to know the people living there, which, well, law enforcement should do anyway, because that's the people who they're protecting and serving. And because of that, they're able to, and plus, not to mention, have not only the law enforcement involved, but the parents involved as well. So they basically walk their kids, as well as some of the officers as well, walk some of the children to their bus stop in order to keep gang members from harassing the kids on their way to school.
What do you think about that, Irvin?
What do I think about that? I mean, that's how horrible it is. We had that incident here not too far from here.
Yeah.
Where the kids were ganging up, and then they had to put police at the bus stop at 7 o'clock whenever the bus comes.
Yeah.
While the intermediate or junior high school kids were trying to get on the bus, these high school kids were picking on them. It's like crazy. Yeah. Taunting them, and there was all these fights going on the bus where the bus driver had to throw everybody off, and then the bus said, we're not going to pick up these kids anymore unless we get security. So it was the bus drivers that said, no more. We're not going to pick these kids up. Let me see, James, wait a minute. I wonder how a major crime area would accept a vigilante taking care of the business, and if you know what I mean, or would law enforcement come down hard on them and run the good guy away? Well, here's the problem that I have with that, Manny, is that unless you are trained to know the law, just because you want to shoot somebody doesn't give you the right to go ahead and do it. You have to kind of have a good level head on how to apply the law, which even our police can't even do right.
Yeah, I mean, like in the words of Ben Parker from The Amazing Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Right, and if you don't take responsibility, which a lot of vigilantes own guns, and they have an anger issue, that's why they call them vigilantes. That's why they go out and do what they do in the style that they do it. It is not lawful. Yeah. That's the problem. When the law fails, the people must take care of those that do violence in the community. That's true. I mean, you could do that, but how do you do it? You go and become one? And you kill them?
That's true.
How do you handle it?
Yeah. It's 8:59 in 30 seconds, so 30 seconds away from 9 o'clock. I do have some breaking news. This is actually from FoxNewsInsider.com. It says the U.S. to extend embassies closures. They will keep them closed until August 10th. So not just this past week, and they're going to remain closed till August 10th.
Well, they got a free vacation.
Yeah. Yes,
indeed. Some of these people in the embassy are like, people like you and me, pretty normal. They're not like all these military people. It's just
a bunch of
like a bank.
Yeah, just some civilians just trying to make ends meet, trying to keep the lights on at night.
Anyway, let me see. Are we going to break? Yes, we are. It's 9 o'clock. We'll be back. We'll pick this up on the tail end of this.
Yes, and also I do have some good news about the mother and daughter that were missing. Yes, I do have some story about
so we do have some good news.
Yes, see, we do have good news on the Morning Roast. It's 71 and sunny in Macon, Georgia. It's 9 o'clock a.m. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Doghouse with Irv, Ed, and DB. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Derek right here. I'm over at Central City Park in the parking lot of Luther Williams Field Historical Baseball Park.
Gotta bring us back.
Oh, yeah. And this has been a place for great movies that were filmed here. Back in the 70s, they filmed Bingo All-Stars, Traveling All-Stars, and Motor Kings, which featured James Earl Jones, Billy D. Williams, and Richard Pryor. And last year, they filmed the movie 42, which was the Jackie Robinson story starring Harrison Ford as playing Branch Rickey. I'm here. This is my little weekend afterthought. I'm just, there's Irvin right there. Give it a... Yes. You know, yeah, just want to say, I know this has been a really tight budget for me, but I'm like this. If you get to go somewhere, especially see a movie that you're in, and it's free, you want to go and check it out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this weekend afterthought, and hope you check it out on YouTube. And be sure to see Irving and myself on the Morning Roast weekdays from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Vaughn Live TV. And be sure to like and comment on this video, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, I'm getting ready to watch the movie. This is DB, and I'm...
Trying to help you, but you won't let me. Maybe I'm concerned. I'm generally concerned about you.
It's awesome.
How about alcohol?
Wait.
We got the toilet paper bag out of the bath.
Jenna's swimming. Oh my god. She is. Oh my god.
It's alright, it didn't have any hair on it.
Oh shit! Honey, you cannot leave her there. No, honey, you cannot leave her there.
Bill, you gotta help her.
You gotta help her.
Help her, Bill.
It's a damsel in distress.
She's better off without me.
Вообще голый, все что творишь-то.
Так, второй повтор. Опа.
Интересно, давай к нам лучше.
Сука, его чуть-чуть потрясну, блядь. Неудача.
Ничего, у нас тут концерт. Отсюда уже уезжать не хочу. Что за жескач?
Please stand clear.
Alcohol. Some of the best times you'll never remember.
Ew.
Let's say catch him on film. Pretty bad.
Nasty. That look kind of.
Yeah. It's nice to see the woman looking drunk. You always have the guy acting like a fool. Then you see the women and they're bookend.
Yeah.
Just as food.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was good. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
See you, James.
See
I
ya,
warned
James.
you.
All right. Goodbye.
I warned him. He ain't coming back.
Peace.
All right. Well, everybody's saying goodbye. Look at that. I love it. All right. Well, there we go. Alcohol helping people get pregnant since 280.
No alcohol helping
You're welcome, Annie. You're welcome, everybody.
Since 1842.
See, Ed's a lot more patient than I am. But I haven't been really. I haven't been looking.
Click, click.
I warned him, man. It's right across the top. And
yeah. Anyway, he was inching his way to getting into
once
trouble.
you're banned, you're not going to be unbanned. You come back with another name,
We'll
find
figure you out.
and then your IP will be banned.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be it.
Yes.
Then you'll have to go to the library.
Yeah.
Or you go to Justin TV.
I thought James
Put up with
Anderson
that
was serious. What are you talking about, Rocco? Was he serious in what way? I don't really know. I haven't been paying attention to a lot of his shit, but the stuff that I read sounded pretty borderline.
Yeah.
He's just annoying. Do I really want somebody to annoy the shit out of me today?
No.
No one does. No one does.
Fucking Monday.
Yeah. Especially Monday.
Yeah,
Don't start
Monday,
out my week already being a punk.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad
Yeah, I know, because it's 70. Yeah, because it's already bad enough now for Monday. I mean, the only people who are actually having a good time right now Monday are probably the parents because they're taking the kids to school.
Yeah, and it's funny
They're
how we
having
started
fun.
school early here.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers really want to get paid, don't they?
Yeah.
I'd rather work.
Yeah, they start school early because they want to get out of school early. That's why they go to school in May. I mean, they go to school in August and then they get out in May. So.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They end school early here. You're right.
It's 9:09 actually. 9:09 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's 71 degrees, 71 and sunny in Macon right now with a high of 91 and a low of 73. Actually, for summer, it's been quite cool. I think according to WGXA, it was like this had been like the coolest summer.
It's raining all the time.
Well, yeah.
Hey, you guys ever talk about the Indian kid that was born with the tail?
No, I never.
All right, we got a story about a tail.
A tale about a tale?
Yeah.
That's right. This is some wild shit.
You love the rain. Yes, I like the rain too. Actually, but you do, it's like everything else. You get sick of it after a while.
A boy in India is now deemed a god.
All right, here we got a story about a boy in India who was deemed a god because he was born with a tail.
You have the video of that? Or not?
This isn't another crazy-ass story.
Well,
because I got a crazy-ass story, a rampage on a boardwalk in California.
Okay.
Witnesses described the scene of terror and mayhem and said the driver appeared to be aiming for people when a car plowed into a weekend crowd of pedestrians on the boardwalk in Venice Beach in Los Angeles. That guy's intention was to kill people. Landon Blackburn told KABC TV after the Saturday evening incident left one person dead and 11 others injured. Bodies were flying in the air and people were screaming. Dave Blackburn told the station it was absolute mayhem. Los Angeles police arrested a man Sunday in connection with the deadly incident at the popular beach and tourist attraction that is normally crowded with vendors, performers, artists, and tourists. Nathan Campbell, 38, who turned himself into police a few hours after the incident, was booked on suspicion of murder and remained jailed at $1 million bail. Police said at the news conference on Sundays. Officials did not provide additional details or the possible motive for the incident. Wow. And
that's incredible.
could you imagine? And I envision Coney Island. They can't really get on there because the boardwalk is high above the street level. You know, you can walk under the boardwalk in Coney Island, but that would be scary. Yeah. There is one ramp, by the way. There is one ramp that goes up on Neptune Avenue. And it has a wooden ramp leading up to the boardwalk, but that's always blocked, and it's for security. They have these little kind of golf carts that they run around in.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
But anyway, could you imagine that?
I could imagine that. It's just, I mean, it was just crazy about this guy. You know, I mean, obviously he did it intentionally. Obviously
But why? Why so much anger?
People just don't know how to. You know how to deal with it. They usually do it with, I don't know, with a hobby. You know, they work out, or they just yell or sing or do, you know, join a gang or whatever. I mean, it's a plethora of things what people do to you know, to deal with their anger. Sometimes it's successful, it's effective. Sometimes it's not, and sometimes when it's ineffective, a lot of people get hurt. Either they hurt themselves or they hurt others.
And so what do you think about being noticed? And did they mention why he may have done it AT&T? No, they said the motive isn't clear yet. But they know for a fact that he was, by witness account, that he was doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah, by the way, Ed showed the picture of the Indian kid who had, they claimed he was a guy because he had a tail in it.
Oh, he did?
It was kind of...
You were just reading the story. I was covering that, and you just started reading that story. And
all right, well, you got the picture?
I had the video of it.
It was silent, though. It didn't have any sound. I thought some... But you didn't miss much. It basically just had a little tail on, like, in his back, you know, where his spine is. Well, I thought it may be a...
How long is his tail?
Not like this.
Maybe he's born with with two penises. How do they know it's a tail?
Well, because it's on his back and not on his, you know...
All that industrial chemical shit.
See, that's what. Yep, I was thinking that. I was just thinking maybe he had some of that bad rats like those kids had over in that place in India, that city in India where they dropped dead, like 20 of them died or something, and another one got sick, and they had to fire the rest of the school principal who knew about it. Like, ew.
Rocco says actually more kids are born with that tail thingy than you know. Really?
Really?
Yeah.
There must be their parents must have had some bad food or something, because you might, I mean, you never, it may not be a tail per se, it may be, you think it probably just be a tumor or something on the spine or something.
No, they say the hospitals just snip it. The hell?
Well, yeah, like I said, it may be a tumor or something.
Everybody's like so pit
birth
bullish.
Effect, you know?
Like pit bulls, you cut off their tail.
Big old long zit, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, that tail is part of the spine. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, for them to just snip it off, doesn't that affect the spine?
Not exactly.
If it's part of the spine, that's why you have that little hole there. I know.
Well, the bee said it was a twin parasite.
I know we have a tailbone.
It was a parasite, you know. So it might not. So probably it's a good thing that they didn't, you know, that they did cut it off, you know, at least for that one girl. But
Good morning, Muhammad Aladdin.
Yeah.
The spinal cord is not the extra vertebrae. No, the spinal cord. This thing's jumping around. The spinal cord is not in the extra vertebrae.
Yeah, that's true.
We used to have tails. Hello, everyone. Hello. They don't make a random cutter. They x-ray first. Okay.
Yeah, but it is important to take...
That's weird, though.
It does. It's important to take care of your spine, because anyone can get, like, a new heart or new kidney, new liver, but you only get one spine. You can't get a spare backbone. I mean, you have that one for life. Once that one's...
Yeah, some of us have to have a spare backbone.
Our Congress could use some spare backbones. My God, they can't fucking get along. Pass them goddamn...
Would you believe they
pass
left?
Pass the job bills, Republican. Stop dicking around.
Well, would you believe they left, and they left all the shit undone? It's like, what the hell? These guys do not work full time, folks. Let's face it. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and it's a part-time job.
Yeah.
And even here, in Macon, Georgia, one of the mayor candidates said, "Oh, I'm going to cut the salary down." Named Charles Bishop. He's one of the candidates running.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he said on a show, the Nod Show, that he's going to cut the salary of the mayor to $50,000 a year in a part-time payment. You know, in other words, signaling that he's going to be working part-time. Mm-hmm. That the mayor doesn't have to be on full-time.
I see.
And well, that's the impression that he gave.
Yeah.
If you're going to give yourself a salary cut, you're going to feel like, well, I'm not getting paid. You know, you're going to have that attitude.
Yeah.
After a while, when you get sick of the job and you feel like, you know, they're lucky they got me, attitude starts to set in.
Yeah, which is why maybe not. It may not be the job for you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I talked about this earlier in the previous, near the end of the previous hour.
I don't care, 007, you're funny as hell.
Morning, Saibuki.
Good morning, Saibuki.
It's 9:08.
Or good afternoon, whatever time you got.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good
evening.
evening.
It is good afternoon to you.
Anyway, that's funny as hell. I will do the Macon's mayor for free. ATT, I challenge you to do that. You want to get paid. The politics in Macon are absolutely crazy.
Yes.
It's like dealing with a horrible, dysfunctional family. Where you got the cousin that's the gossip, and you got the other guy that's a two-face, and you got the spineless, toothless guy over there who won't say shit because he doesn't want to start a fight.
Hey, did you see the link I sent you about the Democratic debate?
No.
You never look. You don't look at your messages from me. Yeah, EL. You gotta know who EL is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you send it to me? You tell me you send it, and then I look, and it's not there.
I sent it.
All right.
Unless he removed it.
Okay.
Maybe that was one that was removed. It was posted by him.
Oh, okay.
And EL said something about relating to the B word, to her opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know which one you're talking. Yeah, you're talking about Elaine Lucas calling Miss Tripp a bitch in a forum.
Well, that's not the first time. Look what she
Well,
did.
she didn't really call her a bitch. What she said was she came bitching to me.
Chris, remember when Chris was running? Chris Horn.
Yeah.
After the cameras were supposedly stopped, how she threatened him?
Yeah, you better watch your back. Yeah, okay, I figured that, Manny.
Dang.
Anyway, so, no, I mean, and what she said was, she says something to the effect that she came bitching to me about the Northeast section, that she came to Elaine Lucas bitching about what was going on in that section.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't really call her a bitch, but she said she came bitching to me. So would that be the same as calling you a bitch? Anybody out there? What do you think? If I said to you, or you came to me, and you were giving me complaints, and I say, why you bitching? Or why you coming to me and bitching about it? Would you consider that as me calling you a bitch? What do you think? I don't know. What do you think?
I think the person in that position needs to watch your language.
Exactly. That's all that needs to be said. That's all that needs to be said.
Needs to watch your language.
Yeah. Calling someone a bitch is different than saying someone was bitching at you. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I said, but they're accusing her of calling her a bitch. But I think it was about the language, because what the Post also said was there was clergy, there was older grandmothers with their grandkids and little kids. And that using that foul language was inappropriate.
Yes.
Now, would you agree with that? Yeah, oh, no wonder, she said.
Yeah, it was removed. He removed it.
Yeah.
That's why when I
That's why I did. Yeah, I did get that little sign.
Yeah, it said it was removed.
It's on Facebook, no?
No, it's
well,
removed.
it was on Facebook until they talk about some quick deleting, quick thinking. Speaking of quick thinking, This was in Boise, Idaho. There were some firefighters who were saved.
I got that video too. That's
Oh, you
awesome.
do?
That's
Wow.
amazing. They escaped.
Okay.
Do you wanna-
While you get
you
that
wanna
ready,
look that
I'll go.
up?
I'll
He's
go and get
gonna
the
cue
preface.
it up.
Okay.
It's a great escape.
Yes, quick thinking by a firefighter captain helped save the lives of his crew. And firefighters in Boise, Idaho were battling a house fire when they were told to back up from the structure because it was going to collapse. And just 7 seconds after that call, the house just collapsed. The house was reportedly undergoing a remodel and was empty when the fire broke out. There's no word on what caused the fire, but officials are investigating. And Ed has the video of that, so hold on to your seats. Check this out.
Captain radioed them and to get out because it was going to collapse, and it collapsed.
All units command, this is defensive on the main fire.
Command priority traffic, engine 9.
Units clear the air, go ahead, engine 9.
Imminent collapse on the Charlie side is ready.
Copy, all units, this is command, back up from your positions out of the collapse zone of the structure, back up.
Command, Division Charlie, can we have a channel?
Affirm. Dispatch command.
Mango.
Give me additional ops channel.
Copy, Ops 13.
Also send me additional ambulance, we've had a collapse. Units stand by for roll call. Dispatch, sound emergency traffic.
Copy, all units, clear the air, emergency traffic.
All units stand by for roll call. Engine.
Because that's really aggressive, just I'm talking about. The captain told them to back out, and like 30 seconds later, the whole thing collapsed.
Kaboom.
No shit.
Yeah.
He saved their life.
Definitely did. Definitely saved their lives. No doubt about that. No
Let me
doubt
say,
about it.
good morning, Edward Mampa.
Good thinking for the police fire chief in Boise, Idaho.
Well, that was a nice angle video. I like
Boise's
that.
bravest.
Bird's eye view.
Quick thinking.
So, anyway, good morning, everybody, and we're gonna welcome everybody since we got a moment here to welcome everybody. We got a nice amount of viewers here to say good morning to, and good evening, good afternoon, wherever the hell you are in this world. Welcome to the Morning Roast again. I want to say hello to Saibuki, DS Photo Guy, Earl, Big Skillet, Michelle Stacy, of course, My Nutsitch, The Bean, Hydroponic, Plastic Canvas, Acid DJ, Ashley 34, morning, ATT, of course, who's always here in our wires and in our ears. Dane Law, Deadpool 5150, Edward Mampa, my brother. I don't care, 007, is this real? Kittens melting? Leonidas? Manny, Misty Joe, Music Docus, Nical 3000, Rocco, Smell My Finger, Too Much, Vorpal by 2 is here as well. Ain't Jester, Cocknose, Learner Curious, Pretentious, and Rudy 4. My God, we have 59 viewers.
You want Rocco to smell your finger?
Yeah,
That's what you just said.
go ahead, Rocco. Smell your finger for me. But good morning to all. By the way, after our show stops, I would take the time out and go and join Rocco. Because, you know what? He's got a pretty good show. You could talk to him. You could actually see him.
I think he was on for like 8 hours ago.
He was, he was on for a while. He's got great jazz music and all sorts of nice music.
We like Rocco.
Like real music.
We just don't like the bullshit sometimes.
A crescendo of hate. Nah, whatever.
Yeah, I also want to say hello to Nick Lynn, who was here earlier.
No, he never banned me. He banned Michelle.
Also, music,
We're making him famous
also, Music Docus, Guten Tag to you. Thank you for coming by.
Oh, he's only got one show a week. Here's Rocco. We kind of dressed him up a little bit, made him...
we dressed him up and took him out.
Yeah. And this guy's got nicer teeth. He's got a big hairdo. Anyway, we love Rocco, and I have to salute you because even though it's a one-man show, you make it very interesting. I mean, you go off on people, but shit, you can vent. I go off on people too. Anyway, and a lot of you guys have gone there, left our show and went to Rocco's. I would definitely recommend it if you want to get some steam off.
If you want to vent.
And
watch him dance,
yeah.
fall down, and if one understand, pick his nose,
Yeah.
fall asleep on camera. Yeah. Very good, very good.
Yeah, Rocco's like Howard Stern. Well, Howard Stern has help. Rocco has no help. Rocco's himself. That's it. He ain't got nobody.
I always said Michael Savage, but you know, Michael Savage is one of those.
That's what I like.
Those conservative guys.
Yeah. Anyway, to handle one-man show, I have to give you kudos. It's a lot on your back, even though your back is about as big as a football field, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But who the hell cares? Anyway. Rocco's all right. Anyway, we wouldn't ban you, Rocco. But again, we have to put this up, not just for you. We got other patrols that come in. At least they're forewarned. We want to have a love fest here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of love,
Make love, not
I
war.
actually have another good news. I was talking, just teased near the end of the first hour about the missing women that were in our location. They have been
I'll answer
found.
that back later, Rocco. Don Rickles.
Yeah, I got an update that they've been found. The Macon Police Department reports that a missing woman and her daughter has been located unharmed in Marietta, Georgia.
Yay!
Yes, apparently the women simply left home a week ago without telling any of their family.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, they couldn't stand their relatives, I guess. I don't know. Apparently, the women
bacon frying.
It's supposed to be applause, but anyway. Apparently, the women simply left home a week ago without telling any of their family. The family of Catherine Simpson, age 39, and her daughter, Shadi Izaguirre, 18 years old, had reported that neither had been seen since Wednesday of last week. Police had asked the public's help in finding the women, so they have been found now.
Good for them. Now, are they going to get charged with anything for being a bunch of really irresponsible people?
For going out?
Did they put out an alert? Was there any police involved? Was there a search? That costs money.
You have to ask the people. I mean, the parent, well, the relative said they called him missing, but you know, say you want to go on a trip. I mean, and your brother Edward says that you've been missing, and all of a sudden all the while you've been, you know, say you went to Rio all this time.
Aruba,
something like that.
Anyway, Irv, there have been bacon factory in Macon, Georgia. The best name would be Macon Bacon.
Well, no, we are going to be the city of Bacon because it's going to be Macon Bid Macon Consolidated. So we just call it Bacon, Georgia.
Yes.
Bacon City, Georgia.
They could have a picture of two cartoon pigs having sex on their label. Sure.
Yeah, that's wow. That's not something I want to picture. That sounds kind of really.
You know,
you can't picture that, Derek?
You know they have.
Don't want to, man. Please don't Photoshop nothing like that, Ed. Please don't.
Check this out.
Wait till tomorrow.
Check this out. Irv was always missing. No. Let me see. I was always around. It's just that people didn't bother to look for me.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, where you up? Oh, there you go.
My number was listed. My address was known. I've been on Facebook since 2007. So, I was always around. Sergio St. James says, it's Muhammad Alan Dean, motherfucker. Is it you again?
Oh, okay. Sergio St. James. Okay.
Yeah.
Pigs.
That's what they ought to do to you.
Okay.
There's the new city logo.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
let me see. By the way, 2 months out, geez, does it mean that you can threaten people and be a racist and get accolades? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Well, here's the thing. I believe that every show has its own purpose. And maybe you guys could spin it and manage up. And a show like Rocco's show, you could help him out.
Yeah.
You know, he's releasing all his anger and all that shit at you, then you manage up. Try to get on somebody's good graces.
Yes. As I said, it's the first day of school here for Macon, Georgia, and even this past Friday, it was the first day of school for students at Baldwin and Wilkinson counties. According to Principal Charlene Thorpe, says it's a team effort to help students succeed, and the Blandy Hills motto is "Educate to Graduate." And this is Principal. She's the Principal Thorpe.
Yes, this is a school, by the way.
Yes,
that the curriculum leads you to college.
Yes, Blandy Hills Elementary School.
Yeah. And
says, Wilkinson County students are returned to the classroom on Friday morning, so they started like a day earlier.
Yeah.
But seeing Bibb County, we know that kids love the weekend, so we didn't want to ruin their weekend by going to school on a Friday. So they came in, they went to school, started today. So parents, be happy, enjoy your early mornings, because around 3 o'clock they coming back.
Yeah. Wow. Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck, teachers.
Yes, definitely good luck.
They're the
to
ones
the
that need the
yes.
luck. Anyway, so the school is back. Kids are back, out of your hair. You have what they call an empty nest for a few hours.
Yes,
Here in Macon, Georgia. Maybe that'll make some people happy.
Yeah. Also,
and, hopefully they'll have something to do now.
Oh, yes. Speaking of which, there are some school supplies that students may need. Will be able to pick up free school supplies this upcoming week, thanks to a couple of organizations. The Macon Bar Association and Epsilon Beta Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity are sponsoring the giveaway later this week, actually on Wednesday, August 7th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Bibb Schools Welcome Center at 2003 Riverside Drive. Interim Superintendent Dr. E. Stephen Smith will greet families as they visit the Welcome Center. Refreshments and snacks will also be provided for students.
That's great.
Those who need need school supplies who fall short on them. For more information about the event, you could call the Office of Deputy Superintendent of Student Affairs, Edward Judy Jr., just Judie, Edward Judy Jr., at 478-765-8504.
Wow. So there's a free giveaway and free food.
Yes, free food and free
This is here in Macon.
Yes.
You see, so there are some things, one thing that I have to say, though, about Macon, Georgia, despite all its crime and despite all the mayhem, they really do treat the poor people a hell of a lot better in this city than they do, like, in New York.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do.
But, like, I remember when I was... one time I was in New York, and I see this guy sitting in front of the Papaya House, which was, they used to serve hot dogs and give you papaya or any other kind of, like, pure juice. That's all they serve.
Yeah.
For $2. You got a hot dog and a drink. And so the guy is sitting there, like, by the store, a homeless guy. And I said, are you hungry? And he said, yeah, I'm hungry. So I went in, bought him a hot dog, bought him a drink, brought it to him. He said, oh, is that all?
Yeah. Like,
and I said, excuse me? He goes, yeah. Is that all? I thought you gave me a couple.
What you thought?
So I said, look, I got your drink and I got your big-ass hot dog. Are you not happy with that?
Like, can you? If you
I don't get it.
You could at least finish the hot dog first. He may have probably
I should.
You should at least ate the hot dog first, sir, before, like, do you have another?
I felt so bad, and now I'm feeling guilty for giving this guy a freaking hot dog and a drink. What the hell is that all about? Oh, and it gets even worse. There's another guy every morning, I swear to you. I would see this guy going on the subway. Of course, you see the worst of the worst in New York on the subways.
Right.
So this guy, I swear to God, he rips open the door and he jumps in, I swear. And he gets on his knees and he starts pouring out his heart. Like, please, I need help. And everybody's like in freaking shock. Right? Everybody's in shock. This is about 8 o'clock in the morning on the subway.
Okay.
All right? It's packed. And this guy is throwing himself on the floor with long hair and all that shit. And begging and crying. You see the tears. So my heart was broken.
Right.
So I said, shit, you know. So I look and I pull out $5. And as this guy's walking down, I give him the $5. Some people gave him 2. A lot of people gave him.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, I'm down on Wall Street waiting for the subway to go uptown.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And there's this guy giving directions. The same guy giving directions to probably a tourist. Yeah, you take this train like really normal. And then all of a sudden, the doors open up, I get on the train, and he gets on the train like further down. Next thing you know, he does the same shit. Again.
How come you're not working in Broadway or something?
Here's the thing. I felt fooled, and believe it or not, because of that, I stopped giving on the subway for a long time. For a long time. It just made me bitter. The difference between one is true need and a hustle. Exactly. I felt hustle.
ATT, you definitely hit that on the nose. I remember one time. See, they don't have the Kroger over at Baconsfield. It's like next to that McDonald's we went to like a few weeks back. Yeah, I remember maybe 5-6 years ago, there was this homeless dude. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why they don't have any more homeless people over there late at night.
Yeah,
because it was like one of the
homeless time.
Because it was the last Kroger that was still open 24 hours a day in Macon until that crime that happened. Now they're going to be probably closing at midnight now.
Right.
But like about 6-7 years ago, I was just coming, just getting some stuff because I just got off from work, over at the station, and then said, "Yeah, can you help me out? I'm a veteran."
I'm a veteran.
Yeah, because he has some camouflage. You probably got it from the Army Surplus Store or Hanoi Hanks down at Great Highway back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the actual store. That used to be Hanoi Hanks. Yeah.
They used to sell military shit in it?
Yeah. Wow. Hanoi Hanks, dog tag.
Not food?
MREs, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I said, okay, man. I said, why not? My dad's a veteran, so I don't have a hatred toward veterans. I'm a veteran. Yeah. Sergeant Jake Jenkins of USSR. Yeah. What? USSR? You sure it's not USMC? United States Marine Corps or USAF, United States Air Force, USSR. Yeah, USSR. Okay, how may I help you, comrade? Здравствуйте. How are you?
So you knew that he had you just by that?
Yeah. See, I knew he was lying because he said USSR. That's the former name of the Soviet Union. Come on, man. That's Soviet Union.
Maybe he had. Maybe he was a veteran. He was delusional because he was,
But USSR.
No. All right.
There's a big difference between the Marine Corps, USMC, and USSR, United States of Social Soviet Republics. I mean, come on, this is.
You're right, ATT. It is illegal here. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, that gives you up as a Maconite. Mm-hmm. It is illegal here to give money to panhandlers here in Macon, but you may give them food or drinks. It actually cuts down upon a drug-addicted, alcoholic panhandler.
And we had a bunch of...
And where is that, my brother? So what's new in America?
Because I had a bunch of them over at Piggly Wiggly over at Napier when I was working at.
Well, they cut them down now on Poplar Street.
Oh,
You don't see them as much anymore.
They really did.
The Dannenberg.
I mean, the Piggly Wiggly is no longer open there. That place is boarded up now. It's just bad. Because I remember when I was working as a teenager, you had these guys, and there was no place where you could actually have lunch. I mean, I could either buy some at the deli or go to New Way, which is like, up the street from the store.
Yeah, and they'll give you a little bit of food.
Yeah.
They don't give you that much food.
Yeah, and the thing is, and they didn't have that much variety back then. So when a homeless guy,
hot dogs and hamburgers, that's all you get.
That's it. When a homeless guy just straight up lying, and they lying, talking about, can I get 35? Because they always, as soon as you get tips, from the people, always it's like tick a brother off. You know, talking about can I borrow 50 cents, 35 cents, give me a roast beef sandwich? Like, you lying joke. You know,
buy a beer.
You know, damn, yeah, you
No,
gonna
what
buy
about
a beer.
the bus? The bus here in Macon.
I mean, come on,
They
that's
talk
like.
about I need money
I mean, the
for a
only
bus.
barbecue
Like,
place next to is like Johnny V's, and that's like a half a block. Ain't no homeless guy gonna walk that far for it. You know, they might walk for a new way, but they're not gonna walk for no roast beef sandwich. And plus, I mean, the liquor store's right next door to the Piggly Wiggly, so yeah, we know you lying.
Well, we got a lot of stuff that the chatters are saying. And one of them, ATT, we'll start with plastic. She said, my husband and I were driving out of a effing parking lot one time, and I looked up, and there was a poor man carrying a sleeping bag with a small bag, and I knew this man had nothing but what he had in his hand. Mind you, don't have much money, but I gave him $3 and said, get yourself something to drink and eat, and you could see the appreciation. All right, well, that's good. All right, Saibuki says it is LOL illegal to give money to those that may need it. Sounds typically American. Well, wait a minute, Saibuki. First of all, Americans are some of the most gracious and honorable and giving people.
Giving people.
We give aid to everyone.
Everybody.
Jesus, everybody.
Give so many
Typically
that we
American. And by the way, what is the cuisine in England? We don't even know. At least you know American food. You know why we don't know real English food? Because they never serve any real food. What food do you guys eat?
We know about
besides drinking tea.
Dude, they got English muffins.
English muffins and fish
yeah,
and chips.
bread like the Queen. Say, let them eat cake. Let them eat bread.
Yeah.
It's like in a jail.
American food is all artificial.
I'm just saying.
Not craft
saying.
singles. Not craft. Okay, maybe a little bit of craft. Okay, Twinkies. Okay, maybe not Twinkies. Okay, that's all. Damn, I guess we all.
No, think about it. I mean, America gives food to everybody. We're feeding so many people.
Okay, Frosted Flakes. Now that. Okay. I mean, we know about mutton, fish and chips, and English muffins. That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that was. I know it was France, but you know, France. It was related to England. All those people screwed around with each other over there. All that monarchy. They were all related, cousins and all that crap.
Bacon.
Some of them were like retarded and sent away.
Okay, we got bacon. Okay. How dare you insult
I'm just saying. Not Europe. It's all bad because of the mozzarella. They say, F you or sorry. I'm just saying. Come on.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna down on America, typically American, when we're giving away food. It's just illegal to panhandle and get money because people don't use it for what they say they're gonna use it for. They use it for drugs, or because they owe somebody drug money, or some other bullshit. Or beer. That's a problem. Yeah, we give a lot of food away.
Okay.
I think it's better. Most of the world does not accept food from the U.S. Well, I would disagree with you. Who's sending all that food to the Middle East and all that shit? Is it France?
Not the frogs. No. It's as if.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you do have some McDonald's and Burger Kings opening up in a lot of places in Europe. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know they're selling some type of food, but what type of food they sell over at Euro Disney? I mean, over in France.
Master Meatball is here. Oh shit! Look who's here. Hey, buddy. He says the history of the royals in Europe is that they intermarried between each other. I know.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Let me tell you, that shit went on even in America with Franklin Delano and his wife Eleanor.
Yeah.
They were cousins.
Kissing cousins.
In the Middle East, they eat goat. Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they eat a lot of goat. We have brains, but the raw materials are non-GMO. Well,
that is true.
Anyway, what else is in the news, Derek? What else do we have? We have news.
I got a few. Some stuff that's going on this weekend. Tatno names boys basketball coach Edwin Cook has been named the new boys basketball coach at Tatnall Square Academy.
Good.
Cook has 25 years experience teaching and coaching at the Georgia Independent School Association. At Brentwood Academy, he led the basketball team to a state title. He also served as assistant coach to Gatewood Academy's perfect 58-0 record, and he coached Bullock Academy to 2 consecutive regional titles. He was also named GISA AAA State Coach of the Year. So congratulations to Edwin Cook for basketball coach.
Yeah, a basketball coach.
Yep. And since that'll lead me into sports.
And then we'll talk about 42 because I want to kind of tell the guys what I thought about the movie, what you thought about it. Yeah.
Yes. As Tiger Woods coasts to his 8th win at Bridgestone, he shoots a 70. They played safe and smart and had parring 16 holes in an even par 70 Sunday to coast to a 7-shot victory at the Bridgestone Invitational for his 8th win at the event, matching the PGA Tour record he already shared for victories in a single tournament. He says this is the first win he's ever been at. This is what makes it special for both of us, as he scooped up his 4-year-old son Charlie. I guess he's trying to make his comeback. So hey, more power to Tiger.
Good luck.
Good luck. And as you know, I just realized this is just recently, actually yesterday. The NFL had a little sneak preview of football this past weekend yesterday.
Yeah.
They had the Hall of Fame game last night on NBC, where you had the Miami Dolphins playing against Dallas Cowboys. I hate to say it, Ant's favorite team, Miami Dolphins, they got beat by the Dallas Cowboys 20-24, and this was during recently. This, like I said yesterday, because before they have the new football season, they have the new people inducted into the Football Hall of Fame.
Right, that's to get everybody turned on to football.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of a light switch.
Definitely. 2013 Football Hall of Fame inductees. I'll go ahead and get the name of them.
Shaibuki, I'll look up these links that you're putting on. They look very interesting. Once we get past our sports segment.
Okay.
I'll look them up.
Yes. Among the people who are among the football class, 2013 Football Hall of Fame class over in Canton, Ohio, the first 3 candidates went to offensive lineman Larry Allen and Jonathan Ogden, and defensive tackle Warren Sapp led the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2013. All 3 are first-time candidates, tying the record for total first-time enshrinees.
What?
People who inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Enshrinees. Okay.
Yes.
Larry Allen. I thought you were mispronouncing Chinese.
Oh, no. See, Larry Allen, he played for the Cowboys during their 3 Super Bowl wins in the 1990s. Was the first player announced in NFL Network's live show. Those who get the NFL Network, that's a channel that you get on, I think, like Premier Digital Cable or satellite if you ever get it, DirecTV, whatever. He was a intimidating 350-pounder guy who broke down and cried when he found out he got it. Allen plans to ask the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to present him in Canada because he was a father figure to the small school product. Basically, he says, my goal as a player was to make the guy quit and tap out, which that's what so to speak, figuratively speaking. Jonathan Ogden. Oh yeah, Chris Carter. I forgot about him. Chris Carter was also a famous player. He played 13 or so seasons for the Minnesota Vikings. He was also a sports commentator for many sports shows, particularly NFL sports, NFL on Fox as well as on CBS as well. So, and also Warren Sapp, who best known for was a driving force during leading a turnaround of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise for coaches Tony Dungy and John Gruden, and helped them win a Super Bowl championship. Also, for, like I said, Jonathan Ogden, he's the first player from the Baltimore Ravens franchise to enter in the Hall of Fame. Ogden was the first player to ever be drafted by the Ravens after the team moved from Cleveland. As you know, they were originally the Cleveland Browns. 11-time Pro Bowl pick, was a member of the Super Bowl 35 winning team. And Coach Bill Parcells was also
That
inducted to
sounds
the Hall of Fame.
that sounds familiar.
Yes. He was the coach for the New York Giants that took them to Super Bowl championships in 1986, and Super Bowl 21 and Super Bowl 25.
Yeah.
So they were, so you had Larry
So
Allen.
he's retired now.
Yeah, he's retired. So you had Larry Allen, Jonathan Ogden, Warren Sapp, Chris Carter, wide receiver, played for the Philadelphia Eagles 87-89, Minnesota Vikings 1990 to 2001, and 2002 Miami Dolphins. You had Curly Culp, defensive lineman. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, Houston Oilers, and the Detroit Lions. Bill Parcells, the coach, from 1983 to 1990 for the New York Giants, 1993 to 96 for the New England Patriots, 1997 to 99 New York Jets. He was a coach for the Jets and the Giants, and also 2003 to 2006.
All right, so he was all over the place.
Yeah. And Dave Robinson. So you had 7 inductees in the Football Hall of Fame over at Canada.
Wow. Okay. Let me see. Never mind. Go ahead. Keep going. Anything else, Derek?
Yes,
Sport.
we had some other. Yeah, we do.
We're going to talk about 42 in a minute.
Oh yes. Also had some bad news. Hall of Fame defensive tackle Art Donovan. He was a lineman whose hilarious stories about his football career enabled him to maintain his popularity long after his election to the Football Hall of Fame. He died last night. He was 89 years old. He died at 7:20 p.m. at Stella Morris Hospice at Baltimore, Maryland. He made a name for himself as a feisty defensive tackle for the Baltimore Colts, helped them lead to a world championship in 1958 and 59. He spent a single season with the New York Yankees and the Dallas Texans in a career that lasted from 1950 to 1961.
Okay, what else, Derek?
He was in the Hall of Fame in 1968. So, also another news, although sports-related news, Missy Franklin wins her record 6th gold medal at the swim meets World Championships. She's 18 years old. Can you believe that? She won her 6th gold medals at the World Championships in Spain. She's 18 years old. She claimed her record 6th gold medal in the World Championships Sunday night, swimming the leadoff leg for the Americans in the 400-meter medley relay. She gave the U.S. a slight lead in the backstroke, and her teammates Jessica Hardy, Dana Vollmer, and Megan Romano made it look easy in a reigning time of 3 minutes, 53.23 seconds, nearly 2 seconds ahead of the runner-up Australia, second place, and also Russia claiming third place in the bronze.
You know, this feels like sports is like a religion, doesn't it? Where you have to sit through like this long sermon. I swear to God. And then,
in one ear,
so,
out the other.
Yeah. By the way, Mountain Dew. I like sports, but to me, when I see two guys like talking and arguing about sports, it's like
talking about
arguing
politics,
about this kid on a skateboard.
Like peanut butter or jelly, would you
like?
You're like
doesn't
eggs
really
or bacon.
matter to me. What the hell? What happened happened.
Mm-hmm.
I like sports when it's happening. Then I can talk about it. But then afterwards, you want to talk about it.
Also,
okay, I'm sorry, Derek.
I'm sorry. And also some other sources. A-Rod can play during the suspension appeal.
Yeah.
It says Alex Rodriguez, or A-Rod, will be suspended today and likely through the 2014 season as part of Major League Baseball's latest drug investigation. But he can play while he appeals. A person with the decision told the Associated Press, according to the Associated Press, Major League Baseball has informed the New York Yankees on Sunday that A-Rod will be suspended for his links to a clinic accused of distributing banned performance-enhancing drugs. According to the source, speaking on condition of anonymity because no statement was authorized, the Yankees weren't told the exact length of the suspension, though. They were under the impression that it would be through the 2014 season. The Yankees star could get a shorter penalty if he agrees to give up the right to file a grievance and force the case before an arbiter, according to the source, the unknown source. The suspension from Monday through 2014 could add to 214 games.
This is A-Rod.
Yeah, A-Rod. And an unsuccessful appeal could stretch serving the penalty into 2015. So in the era before players and owners agreed to a drug plan in late 2002, arbitrators often shortened the drug suspensions. In the case of Yankees pitcher Steve Howe, then his penalty was cut from a lifetime ban to 119 days, practically 4 months.
Wow.
So
Goodbye.
And that's pretty much all.
Go take a trip.
That's pretty much all I have.
With all the money. By the way, sports does have a good element to our show, of course. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have remarks like this coming out while you're reading it. Mm-hmm. I like sex. Is that a sport? Misty. Then she says something.
Well, I don't know if you call it a sport.
I stand in front of the TV when football is on and I flash my husband on purpose. See that? This is what sports does, folks. To some people. And he still don't notice me there. Oh, God.
Yes.
Anyway, Master Meatball then goes off. Oh, by the way, my brother says sports are for the weak of mind.
Okay.
Anyway,
even though it helps your coordination, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's if you play it, of course. If you're a spectator, it is for the weak mind. You know why? The spectator's always cursing out at the player, but you get your ass in that freaking field.
Exactly.
And see how well you do. Spectators always like cursing the guy, oh, you stupid, you drive. But meanwhile, if they got in there and did it, they couldn't do even as bad as they did.
Right.
You know? Anyway, Master Meatball said, yep, that's it, 90,000 times the safe radiation level is now water in Fukushima. To see that the entire Pacific Ocean is now contaminated with radioactive water. Wow. Mankind dies with a bang, but with a whimper.
Wow.
Or does not die with a bang, but with a whimper. Wow. Well, especially those that'll eat the food over there.
Yeah, even, what's his name said, Sabuki says that the UK population was at its fittest, I guess at its healthiest, after World War II and after rationing had just finished. Wow.
Yeah. They weren't obese.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though Americans are the biggest obese. I have the biggest obesity problem.
No, Guam, remember? Guam? Was the fattest in the United States.
I thought it was wasn't it Mexico?
Well, hydroponics says it.
Guam, and then that whatever in Mexico.
Yeah, he says it's Mexico. I don't know. Fat guy. Greece was the only one. Wait a minute. He's talking about Greece. That's where they sell hot dogs. They give high blood pressure, and you scream a lot. Greece was the only one. Right, so the Japanese have killed the Pacific. Godzilla shall take his revenge.
Oh,
Isn't that what woke him up? Godzilla in one of the movies?
Yeah.
It's some radioactive bomb that went off, and then he got it alive like Frankenstein.
Yes.
Some bullshit.
Yes, exactly. Anyway. I like what ATT said about Alex Rodriguez, about A-Rod. To my, wow, A-Rod can't play? Oh, I guess $100 million didn't help him this time.
Yeah, well, I never knew. He reminds me of Bonilla. Bonilla was like a big deal, $24 million contract when he signed with the Yankees. And he was a big freaking deal. And then that season, he was horrible, and he died after that. I don't know whatever happened to him. He played like a few good games, and then he just died on the vine. Alex Rodriguez, I don't know what he's all about. What his big deal is, other than screwing around with Madonna and who the hell knows.
Sleeping behind his...
sleeping with everybody.
Sleeping behind his... cheating on his wife with Madonna, I should say. But, it's kind of messed up, though. He was really big in hometown of Texas and stuff. He was Texas Rangers. He was supposed to have been the franchise, making $250 million contract, and Yankees bought it.
Well, we have to go to break. Edward Mampa says, why does it make people happy when these sports players are living off the fat of the land? Mm-hmm. And we'll leave you with that thought.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so...
it's 10 o'clock. What do you want? I guess in the next hour you could start off with what you were talking about, 42.
Yeah, we'll talk about 42 and how the movie, like the movie itself, was over-glorified, I think. It just seemed too over-glorified. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right,
we'll be back.
Hey, everybody, got a nice video for you here. The world's largest rifle or long gun, as you call it.
Pick it up and throw it up on your shoulder.
That's a workout right there.
I can't believe you can do that. That's getting ready to happen. We're actually getting ready to shoot the largest caliber centerfire rifle ever made. And it's a little scary. I read online that each bullet is $40 a piece. Is that a fair statement, or is it?
Probably about right. Yeah. There's bullets 240 grains and bullet is 2,400 grains and 240 grains of powder.
2,400 grain bullet.
2,400 up to 2,800.
At 2,100 feet per second.
25,400 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And recoils 277 foot-pounds of recoil energy, which is like firing 10 30-06s at one time.
And this is the actual 2,500 grain bullet projectile that will be going down range. Some rounds here that we're going to fire off today.
I just want to say a couple other things. This gun was made by SSK Industries in Ohio. There's 3 guns that were made. This is the first gun that was ever made, the prototype. And this one weighs 50 pounds. After that, the guns made were 110 pounds minimum. So this one's too light as a prototype, and they increased the weight because of recoil decision.
Why are they playing like Puerto Rican?
That's a freaking cannon.
Where's the kaboom? Sweet. There was supposed to be a gunpowdering kaboom.
Load it up.
Lock slowly. Lock slowly. I don't think I was ready for that. Someday. You lied to me. It kicks like a mule. Oh, yeah, but it doesn't hurt. Just oh, my God. It did skip a beat. Yeah, I'm first.
What happened here? You have the 17-year-old. He's on trial for shooting at a juvenile detention officer. He gets scolded by the judge for mumbling in court. So he tries to fire his attorney, and then when it came time for a lunch break, watch this.
I don't know how you were raised, but peeing in a trash can in a state district courtroom is inappropriate behavior. This is the second conversation we're having. There won't be a third.
That's the first time I've seen that piece of video, Holly Hughes. So, oh my goodness, that's just my reaction. Apparently, the teenager's lawyer asked for a mental competency test right before he changed his plea to guilty. But first, in a courtroom, have you ever seen that?
Okay, actually, I've seen some things pretty close where, you know, a gentleman was unhappy with the way things were going, so he just decided he was going to expose himself and go on from there. So I actually have seen things like that, Brooke. But, you know, this is the ultimate contempt of court. I mean, really, I just don't like what you're saying, so I'm just going to pee it.
How to open a beer with another beer. Don't sacrifice your pearly whites when you don't have a bottle opener. Follow these tips. You will need 2 unopened beer bottles. Step 1. Wrap your hand around the neck of the first bottle. Step 2. Hold the bottom of the bottle firmly against a table or other flat surface. Step 3. Grab the second bottle around the bottom of its neck with your other hand. Use your dominant hand to grasp the second beer. Step 4. Place the corner or lip of the second bottle's cap under the edge of the cap on the first. Step 5. Using the second bottle for leverage, press down with your hand, releasing the cap on the first beer. Did you know, when deciding on a drink, 41% of Americans choose beer, 33% choose wine, and 23% choose liquor?
And who says we're not education?
Thank you, Ed. It's always good to know how to open up a beer.
Definitely.
I still use the edge of the table. What?
That fucking gun.
Yeah, that gun was great.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
905 caliber.
905 caliber.
Now, somebody said that was used for what? Against a ship or what the hell? That thing's a cannon.
I guess ships or planes or
who knows?
I know it could take out an elephant.
Leave it to the Americans, though.
Because we gangster like that.
With shit like that.
It probably works better.
The Germans who made electricity, so we thank them. Or not electricity, air conditioning.
Yeah.
Anyway, bye, Learner Curious. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. I hope you learned something by being curious. Checking out our show. Potential says peeing in public indecency, registered sex offender. Actually, you can get hit with that here in Macon.
That is true. So that means you can't even pee in your own,
No.
backyard.
If you're caught peeing in public and with your wang hanging out, you're registered. If they saw it, they feel they were sexually violated. So the police will have you for that. Meanwhile, anyway.
Are you a registered sex offender?
No.
Derek?
No.
I don't pee in public, and I wait till I get home. Actually, I remember one time, this is a true story, folks, about peeing and being stuck in a crowd. I was in Rockefeller Center during the Christmas lighting one year, and when I got real close to where the tree was, which is like packed with people, there was unfreaking believable. So all of a sudden, I had to pee like about 15 minutes before the show started.
Wow.
And then they lit it up, and then all of a sudden, from that time to about an hour and a half later, I was stuck in that crowd. So by the time I got to the bathroom downstairs in Rockefeller Center, which of course you had to wait for a freaking line from here to hell, literally the side of my belly was like swollen from all the piss that was in my bladder.
Yeah.
My kidney, whatever. And it took me about 5 minutes to relax before I can let it out. It's horrible. Yeah. And I don't pee in public. I'm afraid to. Now, in New York, you pee everywhere.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Not even making Georgia.
No, not here. No. Yes.
Don't do that. Anyway, what else is in the news, Derek? We got A League of Their Own, 1992. Okay, we're going to talk about 42.
Yes, I was just comparing to other movies.
Yeah. Well, okay, I liked the movie. It had one great scene, which was how Jackie Robinson responded to the taunting from the manager of the Phillies, where he kept saying, the N-word at him, right?
Yes, multiple
times. And we're talking about 42, the Jackie Robinson story.
Yeah.
What I felt was it was it was a snippet of this guy's life. I mean, literally all of the main
points. Which basically what it was about. Just starting.
Just from his obscurity to his fame.
Yeah.
And what a very small portion of what he went through during that era. And basically the major points when he was in public. So what I would have liked to see was more of a home life. Like, how was he at home with his wife, young wife?
He was good to his
and
wife.
his daughter. I mean, they
They
didn't give
put a
too
lot
much
of
of
sex
that.
in there, you know?
No. But,
Well, of course, 'cause it was-
but the whole thing it just seemed
That was not the-
like these people were so angelic. I don't know.
What parts would you thought they were angelic?
I mean, they had no arguments or no fights as a couple, nothing.
Oh, I mean, you don't tell me what to do. See,
Exactly.
See, that's
That's
some-
what I'm
that's
talking
some-
about. No,
you
well,
know, that's
no,
some
I'm
Tyler
saying they're
Perry
going through
hogwash,
it.
man.
Exactly.
Not
Well,
every.
I'm glad
Black
that I brought
women
it
did not act like that at that time. That's a totally different generation. Back at that time, African Americans, well, people in general, were a lot more polite to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm just much nicer to each other.
Well, whatever.
Maybe it was part of the weather too, because I will admit when we were filming it last year, and when I was sitting in the
You were there. You were
in the colored section with my African American brethren. I have to admit though, something about that heat and that Jim Crow boy, you had no other choice but to be nice to each other. You had no
Yeah, it
choice
was
but
like
to be nice.
reliving
Yes.
an era in Macon.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes, you definitely appreciate the 21st century. That's
Now
for
you
sure.
notice there were
Yes.
people in the crowd that were applauding some of the scenes, right?
Mhm. Oh yes, a lot of people were clapping in the scenes.
Yeah.
Yes. Funny that you said that, Edward Malcolm were very conservative. They're very conservative. I mean, probably more conservative than most American women back then at the time. Anyway, particularly, which brings me back to some of the other movies. Actually, it's 42 is like the second most successful baseball film in Hollywood. It had $95 million. It took over. I guess it was Field of Dreams, which made $64 million. But I think the number one movie, I think, is just behind A League of Their Own, which made $108 million.
These are sports movies, folks.
Yeah,
big time.
Baseball sports movies.
Now, what about? I watch Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
That movie with the golfer.
Yeah,
he was
Gilmore.
a hockey
Happy
player.
Gilmore, Adam
Yeah,
Sandler.
it was funny as hell.
And Bob Barker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Him and a Bob Barker tumbling into it. Oh, it was funny as hell.
I
didn't realize that movie was that funny.
Oh yeah, it's really funny. But speaking, I was just looking at League of Their Own, and it really, and truth be told, I'm so glad they actually made 42, because in some ways, even though League of Their Own made more money, I think 42 is probably much more important, because after looking back at League of Their Own, you have to admit that they made this league all women's baseball league, because the majority of the baseball players in Major League Baseball, like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio, were at war. I mean, they were already drafted, in the military to fight, in World War II, which meant that there weren't that many men playing there, So they had all women's league, and then it just occurred to me that, hell, shoot, even the white female baseball league was segregated as hell. There were no black women in it. So that one time, this one was, she was a housewife. She threw the ball back at the catcher. Oh, it was a foul ball, and she threw it back at the catcher like, pow! And then like the catcher's like, wow, she got a good arm. Like, and she's like, mm-hmm. They're like, yeah. How come you ain't got no sisters in your league?
By the way, Andrew, they did more than that. It was the black women who raised them, the master's children.
Well, they raised the master's children as well as their own.
Yeah.
Some of them were even nursemaids. Matter of fact, they nursed their some. I mean, even after slavery. I mean, some would even nurse the children of their, I guess, maid or whoever hired them and stuff, as well as their children. Sometimes at the same doggone time, and that's why we wonder why we still have this Jim Crow racism BS in the South. Because there are more people. There's so many people that are connected with each other. It's not even funny, but that's neither here nor there. But it just, to me, I think 42 is much more, because if the female league baseball was also segregated, then what do you expect? They had to do something.
Look, on top of the issues that women were considered like slaves, like by their husband.
Well,
and I swear to God,
if they
that's
were
how
married,
it was.
that was.
That's how it was.
Because I don't know.
That shit came from England.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know too many women that were lynched and jumped for crossing the street or something or reading the alphabet. I'm just. But I guess it's different.
Anyway, they all You know, they all were like, women were not allowed to vote. Women, you know, if you were my
Until
wife, you're
1920.
my possession kind of shit.
Until
that the man
1920
had.
when the 19th Amendment was passed. So there was...
On top of the
Yeah.
fact that if you were black, on top of that was even more degrading towards black women in that era.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, it was...
Realman pauses. Once black people start segregating themselves by the color of their skin, things will improve. Well, yeah, some. That is true. That and plus stop with the anti-intellectualism, like trying to make stupidity be cool and everything. That's the thing that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
If you read a book, then you see, if even in sports, I mean, even Tiger Woods not considered not black enough because he's playing golf. How come he's not playing basketball or football? Like, you know, if Tiger Woods would have went and played in the NBA instead of golf, you never would have heard about this guy.
Well, Music
of
Joker says due to the actual raising poverty in USA, the race problems comes back. Very true. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the
Slavery was
haves and the have-nots.
finally illegal in 2010. How did that happen? Dang.
One of the first slaveholders in America was black. Really, Rocco?
Really?
That's
Give
interesting.
me send a link to that.
That's great. No, I mean that's not great, but it's good to know because we want to know the full history. And I know that there was some actually.
And I bet you he ended up and he was no longer the and after he was held, I bet you somebody bought him and he got sold too. But
name was Anthony. Anthony what? Sounds like Anthony.
Okay.
They called him Black Anthony.
Is he the one that's running for mayor?
I don't know. I for some reason, I feel like I'm being had
just
here.
joking, Andy. You have to be watching.
Rocco. Are you sure about that? Anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, American Indians had black slaves, did they?
Yes. The Cherokees did.
Who? Oh, the Cherokees?
Yes, they did because...
That's why they started looking like Cher. They were intermingling.
God must have ate burritos last night. Stinks outside.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not making this up. Okay, I know, I'm not saying you are, but Anthony who? I'll look it up. We'll look it up. The government concept is divide and conquer. That's why racism is grown. Very good. So you think there's a government conspiracy to bring back a civil war in America? I mean, that's what would happen, no?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Speaking of strife and animosity, this is from Benny.
Who's Boulay?
His name was Anthony Johnson.
Anthony Johnson. Okay. Yep. Now, am I familiar with Boulay? Who's Boulay?
Oh, I guess it's supposed to be like the Black Illuminati, supposedly.
Are you sure? Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to group up. Everybody's in gangs. In what they call communities, but bullshit. They're like gangs. I mean, here too. Like a big clique.
Yeah.
Got all these cliques.
Speaking
political
of which,
or otherwise.
Well, actually, slavery goes back to the Roman era.
Well, yeah, Roman era.
Well, actually, it goes back to the biblical time.
Well, of course, biblical time.
Back then too.
Yeah. But there were so many people. They just basically. It wasn't quote unquote racial. It was probably more tribal than anything else because people live so densely populated to each other. It's not even funny.
All right, here we go. We got history on that black slave owner.
Which Rocco sent?
And Rocco brought to the table. America's first slave owner was a black man. That's what it says according to colonial records. The first slave owner in the United States was a black man. Prior to 1655, there were no legal slaves in the colonies, only indentured servants. Whatever the hell that means.
Which means they were part-time slaves. They were there for 5 to 7 years and then they were set free.
Okay. All masters were required to free their servants after a time was up. 7 years was the limit, and that as an indentured servant could be held. Upon their release, they were granted 50 acres of land. That this included any Negro purchased from slave traders. Negroes who also granted 50 acres upon their release. Anthony Johnson was a Negro from modern-day Angola. He was brought to us, to the U.S. to work on a tobacco farm in 1619 and 1622. He was almost killed when a Powhatan Indians attacked the farm. 52 out of the 57 people on the farm perished in the attack. He married a female black servant while working on the farm. When Anthony was released, he was legally recognized as a free Negro and ran a successful farm. In 1651, he held 250 acres and 5 black indentured servants. Wow. In 1654, it was time for Anthony to release John Kaiser, a black indentured servant. Instead, Anthony Charles Kaiser, he was extending his time. Kaiser left and became employed by the free white man, Robert Parker. And then it goes on, Anthony Johnson sued Robert Parker in Northampton Court in 1654. In 1655, the court ruled that Anthony Johnson could hold John Kaiser indefinitely. The court gave judicial sanctions for blacks to own slaves of their own race. Thus, Kaiser became the first permanent slave and Johnson the first slave owner.
How about that?
There you go. And there's a little bit more read up on it. Thank you for that.
I've been doing it.
Thank you.
There that story is.
Yeah, very good. Anyway, there you have it.
Very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very interesting, yes.
For that shot across our bow.
Yep.
To get us talking about something. All right.
About that time, too.
Oh. It's about that time. When we work together, it's so cool, ain't it?
Especially when we check the clock.
It brings us, there is a time and place for everything.
Okay.
And as long as you go with the flow, baby, you're good to go.
And you have an awesome show.
Yeah, we'll have an awesome show. And the other 80%.
Okay.
So we only give really 20%.
Okay.
The other 80%, let's talk about that.
By Bill Crowder.
Yeah. For August 5th, 2013, our Daily Bread. Recently, I saw a billboard stating that 80% of all life on Earth is found in the seas. That staggering number is difficult to process, largely because of most of what life is out of sight. As I consider this, it reminded me of how much greater God's creation is than we typically appreciate. While we can easily have our breath taken away by a majestic mountain range or a panoramic sunset, we sometimes fail to see His extraordinary work in the details that require more careful study and examination. Not only is much of God's creation hidden by oceans, but, I'm sorry, this thing just jumped. Not only is God's much of creation hidden by the oceans, but other parts are also too small for our eyes to observe. From the microscopically small to the unsearched reaches of the universe, it is all the work of our Creator. In those majestic structures, seen and unseen, God's greatest glory is revealed. Romans 1, verse 20. As we grow to understand the wonder of creation, it must always point us to the Creator Himself and to call us to worship Him. As the psalmist said, let heaven and earth praise Him, and seas and everything that moves them. In Psalm 69, verse 34. If creation gives praise to the Creator, we can and should certainly join the chorus. What a mighty God we serve. Think about it. I think that calls for a moment of study. Like you have to go somewhere and look out and get back to yourself to recognize it. Because in this city, you're so distracted that you lose sight of how big things really are and how much you really have no control over it.
Right.
O Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, the power throughout the universe displayed. Barbara.
Rolling Thunder. See, that was perfect.
The wonder of creation causes us to say, what a wonderful God. And in Psalm 69, verse 34, let heaven and earth praise him, and the seas and everything that moves in them. There you have it.
There you have it.
Not bad. Just for the start of the week.
Yeah, especially for those kids who are going to school. I know they need it.
And all of us need it. To remember, we're just
but the kids need it so they want to worry about being bullied and all this type of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, all the mundane things in life are really the ones that we should be wanting to get.
Yes.
It's all right to be have a mundane schedule. At least you don't have the police knocking down your door and arresting you for some false charges.
Yeah. Matter of fact, speaking of some police stuff right here, there was a man that was shot to death in Village Green. It says Macon police are investigating a homicide on the Village Green subdivision. According to Macon Bid Coroner Leon Jones, 35-year-old Stephen DeMond Jackson was shot in the chest multiple times at 5761 Frederica Place. Deputy Coroner Lonnie Miley says numerous people were inside the home, mourning another death in the family when the violence broke out just after 2 a.m. Sunday morning. The shooter escaped and Johnson died at the scene. Police say they have identified a suspect. They say the shooter and the victim had been arguing. And as you know, basically, if you know anything about this, basically just call Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME.
They're mourning the death of somebody, and then somebody else dies during the mourning.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with this world?
Well, I think many shots are real, man. No one knows the number of people that were killed making the trip to Africa. Thousands were just thrown over the sea because they didn't meet the standards or just to save food for others, yeah?
Well, not only that, a lot of them got sick and shit.
Well, yeah.
Got sick, got hospital.
There's some people said that it close to 100 million that were from the African continent to the New World. Now they said that 11 million that's the one. That's 11 million that actually survived the trip. Now, there's so many that died. I mean, all that because they were sick, and not to mention there were so many of them, so many sharks that was followed the slave ships because they knew they were going to get an extra meal.
What do you think this whole plays like? We're leaving our daily bread. We're talking about how we have to view the world. That when you go out to these mountain ranges and you look out, you see the sun, you see the trees, and you see the beauty that is left. And you just get between you and what's out there and God or whatever, that moment. It calms you and soothes you, and then you come back into this like this box called the city or the place that you live in, with all these people running around like in a zoo.
Yes. I signed in for you, and that's what I was saying. A lot of them got sick on the way over.
Well, yeah, exactly.
What was that? Lyme disease? There was Lyme disease. There was
dysentery.
Who knows what else?
Yeah, what about the sharks that follow? It says sharks that followed the slave ships.
Yes.
Well, let me see.
I'm quite sure some did, but first of all, Al could...
Oh yeah, the sharks did follow them because they were dumping
bodies. They were dumping bodies. Yeah.
They created a trail.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, it's.
Oh, by the way, it's Shark Week here on
A&E.
On
Speaking of which, sharks and sharks and slave trade. You know who also has the same type of route?
Who?
Hurricanes. They all start from the western edge of Africa and all through the Atlantic, then they go into the Gulf of Mexico and all throughout the Caribbean.
And that's because of the stream, though. That's the stream.
Well, it happens.
Very interesting.
Well,
the way the weather's been going, I don't think. I think we'll probably live out our lives, but soon after we go, I think this whole fucking earth is going to go.
Yes.
Well,
we'll be gone.
By the way, Real Porn says the size of slavery with Africa and the trade in slaves to other regions is not known precisely. Although the Atlantic slave trade has been best studied, estimates range from 8 million to 20 million people. All right, the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database estimates that Atlantic slave trade took around 12.8 million people. Wow. between 1450 and 1900. The slave trade across the Sahara and Red Sea. Wow.
Well, the ones that survived. Let's remember that, because people don't count the dead unless.
Well, he says about 12.8 million.
Yeah.
So that's like a Holocaust, no? Or at least
that is
like a big freaking unbelievable shit.
It is a Holocaust. A Holocaust that was on international waters. You know.
Well, tomorrow I have a video.
Three continents.
To make sure it works.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 most dangerous cities in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Macon doesn't even make it.
It was shocking.
I would say Detroit.
Well, no, the first one wouldn't shock you.
So it must be Detroit.
Yeah. Well, let me see. What else? But only about 6,000.
In the world. Okay.
Oh,
in
see,
the U.S., you'd be shocked too. I got to get that one working too.
Okay.
He says only 645,000 ended up in the U.S. out of 12.8 million.
Well, believe it or not, yeah. Because only 5% of the slaves that were brought to the New World only went to the United States. The other 95% went to Latin America and the Caribbean. Considering the fact that Latin America was discovered
first. That's how
Haiti
was born.
Yes. Yeah. Went to Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic,
Bahamas, all those islands.
Brazil, and Mexico. 2% went to Mexico. Believe it or not.
I know that one of those states was a state of exile, kind of like Australia was. Australia was a place of exile for the English, I think. Yes. They would send them out to Australia colony. Somewhere.
Georgia was a penal colony at one time, actually.
Still is.
Yeah.
Deputy dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, officer, don't shoot me.
Yeah, he's schooling me. I love history, and if you have something to bring to the table that you know better than me, bring it.
Yeah, Rocco, you're right. Most slaves went to South America. Yeah, 95% of the slaves went to South America, went to Latin America, which is kind of weird now, considering you don't see that many black people, at least not on Latin American television. On Univision, which is kind of strange, considering 95%. It wasn't like it was like 13, 14.
What are you talking about? Univision doesn't really bring out black people?
Yeah, not that many.
Univision, it's Hispanic. Univision.
Well, I know that in my family history,
so
my grandmother was
racist?
No, I'm not saying they're...
They don't bring out no black people on their show?
Well, they do. They usually are made or something like that, but it's not nearly as diverse as American television, which is kind of strange, But then again, though, you have the one drop room, but it's like the opposite. Like you could be as dark as Wesley Snipes. If you say you have one drop of white blood, you can say you white, and you can be as dark as my laptop, and tell me I'm really white.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's funny that way.
I think all this racist shit's gotta stop.
Well, yeah, technically, Hispanic is not a race; it's an ethnic group, like Middle Eastern,
it's all the same,
like pretty much Middle
the
Eastern.
Same category. When you have differences and y'all can't get along, that's when you have a problem. Because once they can get along, guess what? Everybody's in peace and harmony.
Yes.
Until then, it'll never happen.
Hey, do you have this Craig on?
Says Rupon that Brazil was the last country.
Do you have a guy named Craig on?
Craig? Speaking of school, I do have a story about something about these no arming of teachers allowed in Arkansas. It says
I think he's gone.
Yeah. It says in Little Rock.
I don't even see anything by him.
No. All right. Thank you, Plastic. All right, go ahead.
Okay, according to, this is from Little Rock, Arkansas. It says Arkansas school districts can't use a little-known state law to employ teachers and staff as guards who can carry guns on campus. The state's attorney general said this past Thursday in an opinion that likely ends in the district's plan to arm more than 20 employees when school starts, I guess, later this year. It says Attorney General Dustin McDaniel, Democrat, wrote a legal opinion issued by his office that a state board that licenses privately security agencies didn't have the authority to allow districts to employ their teachers and staff as security guards. A state lawmaker requested the opinion a day after the Associated Press reported a plan by the Clarksville School District in western Arkansas to use more than 20 teachers and staff as volunteer security guards armed with concealed 9mm handguns. says basically, simply put, Mr. McDaniel wrote that the code, in my opinion, does not authorize either licensing a school district as a guard company or classifying it as a private business authorized to employ its own teachers as armed guards. Says the idea of arming schoolhouses against gunmen was hotly debated across the country after the school shooting in Connecticut at Sandy Hook last December that left 20 children and 6 teachers dead. The NRA, the National Rifle Association, declared it the best response to serious threats, but even in the most conservative states, most proposals faltered in the face of resistance from educators or warnings from insurance companies that schools would face higher premiums. So, what do you think, Irving? Do you think have some pistol packing teachers and janitors and principals will stop the school violence?
Well, if they team up, if they
like
have more than
Voltron.
one person, if they have more than one, like we just did,
yeah.
Between me, Saibuki, and Ed,
Right.
we banned one guy all at the same time.
Okay.
This Craig's gay guy, or
That works like,
Craig is
sounds
gay
like a
guy.
plan. Mm-hmm.
Probably homophobic. That's why he writes it that way, so that we can hate on gays.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of twisted mind this guy had. Anyway,
Yeah.
so what else is in the news? Derek.
Let's see.
I think that story, by the way, you're saying armed teachers. No. No. You have somebody else carry the gun.
Okay.
The teachers are under pressure and maybe
Trying to teach kids,
Trying
yeah.
to teach, and maybe he gets mad at a kid. Next thing you know, it's shooting up the place.
Even though we do have some
Hell no.
Board of Education police officers already at the school, because they had them when I was in school.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do have one other story. Says a Texas jailer may face trial after video caught him raping a 15-year-old female inmate. There was, yes, a 15-year-old female inmate. A Texas
Yeah, he was in a
correctional
porn
officer.
movie. That's what he was thinking. One of those freaking porn movies that he watched with the girl in jail and
Yes.
the guy banging her. Oh, he got
And
a
a suit
got him
filed,
turned on.
late last year. Michelle and Danny Hall accused former Harris County Correctional Officer Robert Johnson of raping their daughter, MSH, they just have her initials, not her name, during her 2-month stay at Houston Harris County Juvenile Justice Center. The suit accuses Robinson of grooming, quote unquote, grooming the girl with food and candy before the encounters quickly escalated with quid pro quo requests that exchanged gifts for genital fondling and touching. Ugh. On or about May 23rd, 2012, on the eve of MHS's transfer, Robinson's harassment culminated into the rape of a minor. The lawsuit, which was obtained by the courthouse news service, that says, as per the usual and customary practice of the facility, Robinson was allowed to abandon his post on the 5th floor of the boys' unit and enter the girls' unit undisturbed. He was allowed to enter the victim's room with the lights out and rape her. Unknown to Robinson, the rape was captured on video. And the complaint was also named Thomas Brooks, who served as executive director of the Juvenile Probation Department, for allowing Robinson to have unfettered access to the victim. Harris County asked the court to dismiss the suit on the grounds that claims were duplicative and that the Texas Tort Claims Act prevented employees from being sued when a government entity is also being sued.
So they're putting out roadblocks. Anyway. So, I mean, look.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. And this is what happens. I mean, nobody's watching anybody. It's like everybody's avoiding
who's watching
everybody.
the kids, but who's watching them who's watching the kids?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point. I mean, each person has to be responsible for what goes on around them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they have control. They're the correction officers. They could correct each other, too.
Yes.
But it becomes so mundane, and they hire these guys that don't know how to handle that kind of culture because it's like a world of its own. You're going to be thrusted into that world of everybody being jailed like animals, and some of them behave like it. That's a culture shock.
Big time culture shock.
Then they got to come out here. I don't know.
Talk about
Bye, Saibuki. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, see you later,
Pick me
Saibuki.
up. Well, he's going already.
Yeah. Here's some really crazy stuff. I think what was it like? It says a PlaceRaider visual malware turns smartphones into spy equipment. There's some really crazy stuff going on here.
Yeah.
The U.S. Naval Service Warfare Center has created an Android app that secretly records your environment and reconstructs it as a 3D virtual model for a malicious user to browse. It says today, Robert Templeman of the Naval Service Warfare Center in Crane, Indiana, and a few pals at Indiana University revealed an entirely new class of visual malware capable of recording and reconstructing a user's environment in 3D. Then this then allows the theft of virtual objects such as financial information, data, computer screens, and identity-related information. So yet the possibilities of what malware can see through a camera have been under study. This paper basically introduces a novel visual malware called PlaceRaider, which allows remote attackers to engage in remote reconnaissance and what we call virtual theft through completely opportunistic use of the camera on the phone and other sensors of that phone. PlaceRaider constructs rich three-dimensional models of indoor environments.
Wow. So that's going to give like a map to anybody that wants to go in and steal the house and try to figure out how to get in and all that shit.
Yeah, that's really creepy. And I'm kind of worried about this. See, it's probably a good thing I don't have a smartphone or Android phone, at least as of yet. Simply for the fact that they can do that. Because my house was broken in back in 2006, September 2006. I wasn't living there at the time, but it was during the Labor Day. I've said it before. It was during the Labor Day weekend, and these.
What they steal?
Basically, they stole some of the really goods. They stole a refrigerator, freezer, washer and dryer.
Damn.
A leather lazy boy recliner, and
they moved you out.
Yeah, and a stand-up freezer.
It's like risky business.
Yeah. They took some really good stuff, and ever since then, basically, I've been trying to save up money just to be able to replace the appliances that were stolen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I wouldn't be surprised, Rock. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they stole the washer and the dryer. And what about records and?
They didn't get the records. They tried to steal the. They tried to steal. Yeah, they tried. Possible. I didn't have my music in there. Thank goodness.
Anyway, go ahead.
But we was basically just trying to rebuild the house because there was nobody living in it at that time because my aunt was living in assisted home at that time. So I guess in those 2 years they were like casing joint, and they thought like during the Labor Day weekend they thought that was probably the time to get it. I'm still trying to figure out how in the world they were able to get that washer and dryer from the basement.
So you think it was somebody that your sister knew or whomever?
Well, somebody that
whoever
in the neighborhood.
Was in somebody in the house at that time.
My mother was part of the guardian, so she owned the house through.
But who was living there at the time?
Well, no one was living at the time. I was getting ready to move in there, but some stuff was stolen in there, and we didn't have to get we had to get a whole new door.
Maybe it's an inside job.
Possibly. I mean, maybe. I think it may be. Yeah, Plastic or whoever said. Yeah.
Do you suspect anybody?
Not that I know.
Have you ever looked into it? Who are your mother's friend? Is she?
There's maybe 2 or 3 people though, but I'm just guessing it may be somebody from across the street who's probably been casing in place for so long.
By the way, Cogno says someone knew you enough to feel enough to take their time.
Possibly.
Or safe enough.
Yeah, safe enough. But I mean, I do have a refrigerator, freezer. At least I got that though. But I know I won't be able to get a stand-up freezer because where my aunt had it, it was in the place where it's now my office where I edit my films and stuff. So it would be kind of awkward just have this great big freaking freezer on the side next to my desk. I mean, unless I
put shit on it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, maybe get a frozen pizza or something like that. Put on top of it.
Anyway, if you own a laptop or PC, always buy a third-party program that allows the tracking your PC if it gets stolen.
Yeah, you're right. I'll definitely get into that. Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway,
some other crazy stuff. What was it?
So you've been the victim of theft, and me too. I told you what happened to me. I'm not going to go again with that. But everything I ever owned was stolen. Period.
Yes.
Everything.
Sad.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I got some BBC news from the BBC.
What do we got?
Says a U.S. worldwide travel alert over fear of Al Qaeda attack, which
we talked about that.
Which due to that. Yeah, due to the closing of the embassies. But they do say that that they do want to. The department has issued a global travel alert because of the fears of unspecified Al Qaeda attack. The department of the potential of the attack was particularly strong in the Middle East and Northern Africa. The alert comes shortly after the U.S. has announced nearly 24 embassies and consulates that would be shut down on Sunday. And the alert will expire on the end of this month, the 31st of August 31st, and it recommended U.S. citizens traveling abroad to be vigilant.
Yeah, I told you it was all month. He said no, it was just yesterday. It was all month. It's all month.
All month long.
Security alert.
Oh.
It wasn't just yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, but according to...
Yeah, but it started yesterday. That's when they closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said they're closing for one day. They're closing all month.
All month. So even when they talking about the embassies were closing, supposedly closed, extended to August 10th.
Yeah, and not 22 of them either. They were open 7 days a week.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, I know that. That's the change. That's what I'm talking about. That's the news. I know that.
31st.
The news is that they're closing. They never did that before.
But
so that's the news.
Well, that's the way it is. 10:48 a.m.
What the hell?
August 5th, 2013.
Anyway,
this is not Walter Cronkite. But we do have something from Word Origins.
Very good.
From John Ato. Today's word of the day is empirical. Empirical. E-M-P-I-R-I-C-A-L. Empirical. Despite their normal resemblance, empirical and empire are completely unrelated. Empirical comes ultimately from the Greek adjective empiros, E-M-P-E-I-R-O-S, which means skilled or experienced in, a compound formed from the prefix en, in, and para, P-E-I-R-A, attempt or trial, a relative of the English expert, peril, pirate, and repertory. From this were derived successively the noun empiria, which experience, and empiricos, the Greek word, which English acquired the via Latin empiricus. So empirical.
Yeah.
Strange.
So it had nothing to do with empire.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, that's another word that you have to kind of figure out.
Yes, exactly.
And how to spell it. How do you spell it?
Well, empirical is E-M-P-I-R-I-C-A-L. Empirical, yes. And who said this first, or who said it first? Not in my backyard. Who said that quote first? The expression originated in America, mainly to describe those who oppose nuclear development, and was quickly shortened to the acronym NIMBY, not in my backyard, N-I-M-B-Y. While known in Britain, it only received major publicity when British MP and Environment Secretary Nicholas Ridley in 1988 publicly dismissed the attitude of rural dwellers who opposed housing in nearby developments as pure NIMBYism. The terms, now usually lowercase, NIMBY and NIMBYism, rapidly went into wider use. There you go. Thank you very much.
Not in my backyard.
Not in my backyard. Who said that first?
No shit where you eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
No fishing in the office pond.
Thank you.
No drinking, eating yellow snow.
By the way, I know Mountain Dew. There was something about Mountain Dew that stops fires, I hear. Sabuki mentioned it.
Yes.
Anyway, ATC says, well, after Benghazi, we are still being very careful of attacks on embassies. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. One day, hopefully, the U.S. will stop meddling in every country. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
They're already talking about it. But you see, here's the problem, ATT. It's business. It's money. It moves the economy.
It's like under the guise of networking.
The whole 20th century. We spent almost 100 years making bombs, and I mean, from the First World War. Even the Civil War, but that was kind of like, guys that own guns.
Yeah.
but more later on in World War I and all those other wars. Big money.
Wow.
Millions of dollars.
Millions and millions of
Thank
dollars.
you. I signed in you. Is Rocco gone? Rocco, I love you. Morning Boss, amazing show as usual. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye. And he's signing off.
Okay.
I signed in for you.
Well, while I'm here, I might as well go into the weekend box office of what was the
Rocco.
top 10 movies of this weekend.
All right, this is the top 10 movies of this weekend. And could we do birthdays? We still got a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Let's do birthdays.
no problem. The number one movie.
The
for
number
this
one,
weekend.
where you going, Edward? This is the best part. Edward's like, bye, my brothers. Where you going?
Come on, man. Stay at least for this. Number one
Yeah,
movie
you're
this
missing the
weekend
best part.
was Two Guns. The movie.
Thank you.
Movie starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. It was the number one movie this weekend, making $27.3 million with a cumulative gross of $27.4 million for this weekend. That's a good start. Last week's
Everybody's making money.
Yes, last week's number one movie, The Wolverine, dropped to number 2 with $21.7 million, with a total bankroll box office take of $95 million. The Smurfs 2 debuted this weekend, placed in third with $18.2 million, which also but has a 27.8 total in the box office so far. So I guess it started back during the Wednesday instead of Friday. The Conjuring dropped from number 2 to 4th place this weekend with $13.6 million. It has so far has made $108.6 million total. Despicable Me is dropped to number 5 from 3rd place with $10.3 million. Now has $326.7 million.
What's that one about? Despicable Me.
It's Despicable Me too. It's
is that stupid cartoon?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, those Twinkie-looking people.
Yeah.
Grown Ups 2, the Adam Sandler Chris Rock film, is number 6th place with $8.1 million. It's made $116.4 million so far total. Turbo was last week's 4th place, dropped to number 7 with $6.4 million. Made $69.5 million the total. Red 2 is at number 8 with $5.6 million. The Heat, the female buddy comedy movie with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock, is in 9th place with $4.7 million, almost at $150 million, pretty much. And Pacific Rim, the movie with Idris Elba in it, the sci-fi movie with Rock'em Sock'em Robots fighting aliens, is now
this is so painful.
Round off number 10.
I swear to God.
With $4.5 million.
Who are these people invading Hollywood? There's like nothing out there that's very interesting.
Wow.
All these movies are horrible.
None of those, so it's not nearly as bad.
What's the best movie out there? Thank you, Hydroponic.
Okay.
I like the little flag. Look at that shit.
Okay.
Thank you. That's sweet.
Jay close to you says, DB, I have one quick question. What's the question? I said, never mind, maybe next time. Okay.
Never mind. All right. They are New World Order. Who's out there of order? Who's out of order?
Okay.
The New World Order, who's out of order?
What? You're out of order. He's out of order. The whole box office is all out of
and then he becomes Scarface. Taking drugs and killing people.
Okay.
Money-wise, Titanic beats everything. Yeah, the Titanic with
Well, actually, yeah. Actually,
it's a long
Avatar.
movie.
Actually, Avatar beat it.
I don't know why. Avatar was horrible. It looked like these sperm cells flying around. What the hell? What kind of
Well,
creatures
they didn't have
are
all sperm cells.
Yeah, they look like big sperm cells. What the hell were they? What kind of creature was that? What? Avatar.
Avatar.
What was that? What creature was that?
Send your email to him, ATT. I'm just. He said.
Avatar. What's that number? I can't even read it.
2.7 billion. 2.7 billion. 2,782,172,000.
Yeah, I saw it in the movies, by the way, and I saw it in 3D. Actually, that's when I discovered they give you these nice plastic hard glasses that you can wear like sunglasses.
Yeah. I never see the whole movie from beginning to end. I only see like bits and pieces of it. I never get a chance to see the whole thing.
It was boring.
Well, hopefully this won't be boring.
I didn't find it like, why all this money? Yeah, Rocco, thank you. It was predictable and sucked. And by the way, does anybody know what the hell those things were?
They were like, I don't know what the name was. They were like these big blue aliens and stuff on this other planet. So it's kind of like a Western because they were the native people, you know. And then you had like, you know, the man trying to take over. So they take care of their resources, you know.
Yeah.
You know, do that manifest destiny thing. But I'm surprised you didn't like it because basically this is the first movie. Avatar was the first movie to actually have like basically the protagonist was a person in a wheelchair and a veteran, as a matter of fact. He played a disabled Marine. He was a paraplegic. He was the first movie to actually have a paraplegic as the star in the film.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's some birthdays for August.
Yeah,
5th.
I do take the butter popcorn for not killing Avatar. No, here's the thing. It was a boring movie, and I went there with enthusiasm. I paid the freaking price of the 3D movie, which is like what, $15 and shit, somewhere in there.
Wow.
It's very expensive. It was, at least. It wasn't no $10 movie. It was like a lot extra.
Okay.
And I went in, and I wore it, and the glasses and all that, and it was great to look at. But
I'm going to get into these.
But it was more about looking at it than even caring what you're looking at.
I'll get into these birthdays hopefully
please.
Quickly. Number one, Olivia Holt, teen actress known for starring in Disney.
Yeah, I did.
Disney's XD's Kicking It. She turned 16 years old today. Neil Armstrong was the first man to set foot on the moon July 20. Well, actually, it's 20th, 1960. He died last year. He would have been 83 years old today. Adam Irigoyen, who played the role of Deuce in the Disney TV series Shake It Up alongside Selena Gomez. He turned 16 years old. Lewis Walsh became known as the audience as a judge on the television series singing sensation The X Factor when he won in 2005 with Shane Ward. He was 61. Adam Yauch, the Beastie Boys bass guitarist and supporter of Free Tibet, was born on this day in 1964. He also died last year. He would have been 49 years old. Jesse Williams, television film actor known as Dr. Jackson Avery on ABC's Grey Anatomy. He turns 32. Maureen McCormick, who played Marsha Brady of the Brady Bunch. She's 57 years old today. Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks center, who scored over 20,000 career points and also was helped the Georgetown University win national championship back in 1984.
Are we back to sports? Oh, no,
He just happened to be a sports player, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing, he turns 51 years old today.
So he's my age.
Kajol, lovely
older.
Bollywood actress from India who starred in a variety of movies. She turns 38 years old. It was in the list. It wasn't my intention, but she's on the list. Happy birthday, Kajol. Lolo Jones, outstanding 100 meters hurdlist, an Olympian who finished a disappointing 7th place in the 2008 Olympics after tripping and finished 4th place in the 2012 Olympics. She turns 31 years old. John Huston, who died in 1987, was born on this year. Born in 1906. Today, he would have been a whole lot of years. 107 years old. Vanessa Simmons, the oldest daughter of Reverend Run Simmons, who you know as Run from Run DMC. She turns 30 years old. Lonnie Anderson, buxom blonde, who played Jennifer Marlowe in WKRP in Cincinnati and the ex-wife of Burt Reynolds. She turned 67.
She gave him hell when they got divorced.
Yes, turned 67 years old.
I lost all his hair. By the way, Rocco says, I'm sick of Bruce Willis, Sly Stallone, Chuck Norris, Arnie, and this guy.
Burt Reynolds.
Sick of these people.
Oh, Burt Reynolds had been in movies.
He looks like a freak now.
Oh, wow.
Did you see him lately?
And Tom Selleck, he sucks too.
Yeah.
So you don't like? So I guess you don't like Blue Bloods, right? That CBS cop show. You don't? Okay.
I don't watch any TV cop show. I watch the real shit. People getting busted, real cops. You know.
Yeah. Chip Fields, the mother of Tootie, Kim Fields from A Facts of Life. She turned 62 years old, and also she played Janet Jackson's biological mom, Penny's mom on Good Times. People hated her guts when I was a kid. She turned 62. Lexi Bell, adult film star, appeared in over 400 films. She turns 26.
You know her well, don't you, Derek?
I'm quite sure you know her too.
Lexi Bell. Yeah. She's got a lot of stained magazines
really
with her face on.
Well, yeah, back in college, but that's a whole other. Tawny Katane, she was best known for appearing in the Whitesnake music video "Here I Go Again on My Own." She turns 52. Kent Masters King, soap star famous for her recurring role in General Hospital and Knots Landing. She turns 39. John Saxon, nominated for a Golden Globe in Appaloosa. He was also with Jim Kelly and Bruce Lee in the movie Enter the Dragon. He turned 77 years old. Also, who was another? Roman Gabriel became the first Asian American to start as quarterback in the NFL, considered one of the best quarterbacks in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Erica Slezak portrayed Victoria on Lord on One Life to Live. She turned 67.
Slezak? God, what if she must have gone through in school?
Oh, yes.
Hey, Slezak.
I know she had went through hell.
By the way, yeah, everybody's talking about zombie movies and all this shit here. And that's a big deal. Ed brought up a picture earlier about a zombie. Can't get rid of him, something. And that's what I was thinking about, that right now, zombies is like in style. Like everybody's talking about zombies, having zombie parties, zombie outs. And there's this game going on now where they actually play zombie, and you, the audience, the people have to like fight these zombies off, and people getting hurt because of it.
Yeah.
It's like stupid. I mean, people are just inventing now games that are community games that are about zombies. Like football.
Like fantasy football?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. No?
I know, it's very
I know,
crazy.
because we have the Thriller. Downtown in Atlanta, Georgia, every year we have a Thriller dance
Here
show.
in Macon, yeah.
Here in Macon, where everybody dresses up like a zombie and Michael Jackson, all that shit. And right at the terminal, they have what they call a zombie night out.
Yeah.
Or Thriller night. And everybody dances.
You want a piece of me?
Everybody dances to Thriller. And it grew from like 100 people to last year was like 1,000.
Yeah. Good drunk octopus, yeah. I can see that. Wow. But look at the time.
Yeah, look at the time, jeez.
It's 11:04 a.m.
Yeah, we're all like zombies right now
Definitely.
here in the show. After
It's
3 hours.
Good night, Dick.
Good night, Dick. It's 77 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia, with a high of 90 and a low of 73. We'd like to thank all of our guests and people who checked us out. I want to say thank you to Sabuki, who already left earlier today. Who else was here? Had my nuts itch, Des Photo Guy, Earl Big Skillet, Hydroponic Plastic Canvas, Asher 34, ATT, Dane Law, Edward Mamba, Just Jay, Close to You, Kitten's Melting Pot.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by. Leonidas Music Dokas, Real Man Palms, Rocker, Rush 2929, Smell My Fingers, Snow Sparks, the MS Quiz Show, Vorpal by Cotton Nose Pretentious, and Watchdog Gone.
Yeah, babies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hydroponic. I love that. Look at that.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Do we have music?
Until next time, this is Irv, Ed, and DB saying, can you smell what the roast is brewing?
There you have it.
Don't answer.
Tuesday. Next.
It's supposed to be earth-shattering kaboom.